So today we have got another episode of Team Takeover Podcast. As always, live on the Unbeatable Jacob Twitch channel. Link will be in the description, and obviously the videos are on the DBG channel. Today we have got the most requested for guests, so you guys can stop leaving it in the comments and stop constantly leaving it in chat. We have Mr. Giannis Made TYDEBO.
What's up? What's up? Giannis Made. Hey, I wonder how many people that watch me now and even know what that means.
No, play with Friends Warrior. I don't know how many people. I reckon there's about 100 people that will have remembered to play with Friends Warrior.
Right. Not many.
I wasn't even around back then. I didn't.
And I don't know what 2K that was in.
19.
That's going way back.
Yeah, I know.
19.
I remember I played with
He
friends.
was like a ghost for me. He was like a phantom. I kept hearing the name, but I couldn't find his Twitch for so long. So I only started watching Ty in 20.
Yeah, well, that's like when I don't know. That's when you started YouTube and everything. So unless you were like super tapped in, super tapped in, I guess you wouldn't have really known.
That was mad. Like, you started YouTube, and then a week later, the world shut down.
Yeah, it was it was crazy because I've even talked to like my family about it. Like, what would have happened if COVID would have been like a month earlier, and then all the restrictions, then I wouldn't have been able to like go to LA and stuff. So just kind of the timing of everything was like, obviously COVID's not a good thing, but I'm glad it didn't come a little earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you would have. I think you would have been fine. Maybe it would have taken an extra month or something to build any sort of decent money, but like, I still think it would have made the same difference. Because like, sure, 20, you won every single tournament there was to win after that, like in terms of like community-led tournaments that year. So I don't think that would have made much of a difference, to be honest.
When was ESL? Was it like right after ESL that you started YouTube?
Yeah, because I remember, well, I lost 250K. The next week I had to, there was 2 ESLs. It was like a regional, and then I qualified, and then I went back like 3 weeks later. I was like end of March, I think. And then I remember, I think right after I won it, DBG like messaged me like, you gotta start YouTube now. Like, there's no more messing around. This is your opportunity. It's your opportunity.
It was so funny.
Yeah,
Back then, watching you, like I remember when it was like you were on like the road to 2K subs or something like that, and like I've never been like more confident in like somebody like growing. I was like, there's no way. Like I think the first video I watched, at the end of it, like the little end roll, it said road to 2K subs. I'm like, there's no way this guy has less than 2K subs. Like like there's no way, right? And I looked and I was like, wow, yeah, you really did just start. But
I just remember. Go ahead, Ty.
You go.
I was about to say, I just remember sending that message after you won Global Champs, because you had just won it. I'm like, he's on a high, so it's like, he is either going to take this on board, or he's just going to think, this guy's a dickhead, and just not respond. I was like, it's going to go one of two ways. Because it was just like, first of all, congratulations. Second of all, don't be dumb. Do all of this, and you can make this a career.
It's like, and it's crazy because like messages like that, because obviously I had less than 1,000 subs. I think 1,000 subs at that time, way less, maybe not even 100. But just getting a message like that, it's like, okay, I think like this is obviously worked out, but without him and some DBG and some other people, you don't know. I don't know. You just don't know what to do with your YouTube, yourself, and anything. So I'm glad I got that message and just had some support.
But yeah, that was kind of a crazy time. Like 2K20, like I don't think it was a good game, but like that period of 2K20 was probably the most I've ever enjoyed content creation, because it was like the only thing that was happening at that stage. Like there was nothing else to do except for like make videos, play the game. Like there was nothing actually else to do at that time. So
yeah, that's the reason why I started. Like, if it wasn't for like COVID or whatever, like I would have never started like streaming and all that. Of course, I did like stuff like way back when I was a little kid, but like I would have never had the time to actually start unless it was for COVID. I was just sitting at home by myself. A month went by, started watching everyone's streams. I was like, might as well build a PC. Just sitting here doing nothing. So
Yeah. Everyone kind of had that urge during COVID to just start it, because we were all just sitting in Twitch chats. So many people started. Jacob's just like the only one who stuck with it. Everyone else dipped.
Yeah.
Like besides the ones who were already established, like the ones who started around COVID time are pretty much long gone now. Everyone got tucked off the grind.
People just had to go back to
21 being
work.
a bad game didn't
It's tough. They have to
help.
work. It's a lot of hours. It's an awful lot of hours, and it's a lot of commitment.
I mean, I just kept
really
working
is.
from home, which helped a lot. Like, you know, I permanently went home remote work after COVID and everything. So it's like, just keep on doing it now.
Yeah, streaming's not as easy as people make it look. Like, it really isn't.
No,
You start
streaming is so, for me, it's just so much tougher than YouTube because you can always just click either remove comment or hide user from the channel. Like, the amount of abuse you get on stream, and you're seeing it in real time, and it's like, oh,
No,
I just don't know how to react.
it becomes bad at times. Like it is crazy the amount of times. Like I like in person, like I'll rarely get mad. I'll be losing a game and dudes have the audacity to say anything and I'll just get so out of character. Like, I don't know.
Like, it's the worst part is, like, you'll be annoyed at the game, and it's something that you normally laugh at because you're already a little bit annoyed. You'll just snap. Like,
Yeah.
and then, like, some of the things where it's like, now it's my chat's getting bad because I'm just like, okay, screw it. Viewers are down. I'm just gonna attack chat, try to make it a part of the show.
Your
And
show
now it's
is
gotten a
always
stage
bad.
where it's like, yeah, I know it's getting worse now. Though. But like now it's gotten a stage where it's like, I don't know, where people can't even tell if I'm actually angry or if I'm not angry, and I'm like, that's not good because there are times I've actually gotten pissed.
250K day must have been up
I
there.
know,
a bit.
I wasn't pissed at all on 250K day. Actually, I'm angry. If I'm actually pissed off, I'm not gonna turn off stream and fire back up 15 seconds later. I just see that to troll.
I just find it hilarious that people still like troll like Ty or Splash or people like that and like say they suck. Like, that's just crazy to me. It makes me realize that when people say that to me, I must be doing something right. Because like the funniest thing to me, even beyond that, is when people give like Ty or Splash lineup advice. Like, you shouldn't be running this card. Like, yeah, I'm sure they're just lost out here when they're putting together their team. Like, Ty just doesn't got a clue, you know, what cards to put on the floor. Like,
Go, telling Ty, why are you playing defense like that? Why are you going for that steal?
yeah, you're playing too
Like-
fast. You gotta slow down, Ty.
Some people honestly give me advice. And like if it's like Isaac or like a comp player like that actually I'll listen to, but some people it just sets me off.
Yeah, it's definitely funny.
You
seeing
just
that.
know, like, though, when you're like, you know, the Ties, the Splashes, the Isaacs of the world, like, there's so many people just waiting in that chat. They haven't said anything all stream. They're just waiting for that one loss to come through. And then they're just going to throw everything in the book at you.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
the only time I'll
mental.
ever get angry is if I see a viewer's first message or whatever
Yeah, that's
that
the
says.
worst thing they've
Yeah.
ever
And
done.
then they're giving you abuse with the first message. I'm like, nope, ban, get out of here. I'm like, if you've been here a while and you give me abuse, okay, yeah. If your first message is give me abuse, just get out of here.
Yeah, that first time chat from viewer message box that they added on Twitch, definitely. It's a wild card when you see that on the screen. You never know what it's gonna
Especially
say.
in the 2K community.
Yeah.
But obviously, quite recently, you qualified on both gens. Are you the first one to do that this year? No.
I think on Xbox, I don't know if anybody on PlayStation did or
No.
not.
I don't, does anyone
They
know
haven't.
if anyone else has done it?
They haven't.
No,
I mean,
no.
emails haven't come out, so we don't know.
That is also
Yeah.
true.
They've never taken over a week before, have they?
Yeah,
Nah.
last time last year
Oh yeah, the last one I think did.
when
took
it was like
forever.
Skip qualified 3 times. Was it 3 times that Skip qualified?
It was a ridiculous amount. Yeah, and then they had to sort through that mess, but
I know there's a few people who are trying to do it this year. Do you feel like it's pretty easy to transition between both gens this year, or no?
initially like right away when the games came out, I was like, okay, these games are like pretty similar, but like defensively, it's gonna take a while because like when I was on current gen and went to next gen, it was tough. When I was on now I'm on next gen and go back to current gen, it's tough. It's just like I don't know. I think it's doable, but it's like you have to play at least a couple of games, and that's the thing. Like I'm glad the final tournament's on at least separate days, or like the actual tournament's on separate days. That way, you can at least for that whole day, or at least that night and day, play at least a few games to get ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like last year anyways. Like last year, it was like literally like NBA Live
wouldn't have
versus
been
2K.
able to.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to last
Yeah.
year. Like it was like NBA Live
There's
versus
no
2K
chance.
last year. It's two entire different games. This year, at least, like
I
Can't go from speed boosting everywhere to side deciding. Like there's just no way.
I say that, and I called out Ty and lost by more on next gen than current gen. So that was the funniest
That was
stream
your
ever.
gen.
That was the funniest one ever because I won $200 after that stream.
I was gonna
Not
say,
too-
was
that's-
that the day? Was that the day you won money?
Yeah, that S dot dude was calling me out on Twitter. I was like, okay, yeah, send money to a middleman. He's like, I'm not losing, and I beat the dude on West.
I remember that stream. You were
Ended that
locked.
man's whole career. He hasn't been
active-
seen since.
Deactivated
I'm sure.
Twitter.
That was the most locked I've ever been for. That's the only time I've really cared whether I've won a 2K game. Like when I was playing you, it was like, look, okay, I'm losing. Whatever, it is what it is. There's no big deal. Like that was the first time I cared because I was like, I can shut up so many people with this.
Yeah.
Right.
You could kind of be like the career killer of 2K because people don't really recuperate from a loss from you for whatever reason.
Yeah,
Because everyone
I mean,
thinks you're terrible.
JB nearly got his career ruined losing to me on his own host. I was up going into the fourth because he didn't know to fucking guard screens week one. I was just abusing Kyrie Irving.
Man, I don't
It's
miss
crazy.
these cards.
Go ahead, Jacob. What were you gonna say?
I was just saying, I just heard Kyrie Irving, and I just remembered how happy I am not to be using a card like that anymore.
Oh, yeah, Jacob hated the point guards we had for a while. My thing is like, I don't know, it's just crazy like the different metas that have already been in the game. Like the guard to guard screen was a meta already, and like just how many times they've already patched the game. Like they didn't patch the burst last year, and that was a bad thing, and they're patching like just tiny things. So it'll just be interesting to just see kind of the rest of the year kind of shakes out.
Probably
But
happy
yeah,
with
like-
this racing patch. I'd imagine.
Oh yeah, I definitely am happy with it.
Like
Were
pay
people really
matches-
left, right, and like that on my team though? Because I swear I
no, they
no.
weren't.
See that,
They
like-
weren't. There was a
There was
couple people
speed-
that would do it, like Duffy. I played him a couple times. Like he'd left
Yeah.
right a little bit with like Curry or
Didn't
whatever.
really work.
But
They were going to, though.
though.
None of the cards had the SIGs to do it proper, and even if you did, just put off-ball AK on it and stop. Like, I just got so mad on Twitter after that day because, like, I was complaining about the patch because you guys clearly know the game. Like, you guys know what I want to do pre-patch. Like, come sideways off a screen, not dribble left-right with D-Rose SIG size up with D-Rose on the court. So many people were in my inbox or messages like, notification saying like, oh, you just need to learn a move, you can't side or left and right anymore, blah blah blah, this and that. And it's like no one was doing that on my team for real, like at all.
No, it wasn't even that bad of a thing.
No, they had to patch it because it was ruining Park. Like
Wasn't
it was
ruining
ruining
Park.
Park.
The locks just can't hold defense. That's their own fault.
So you have to just guess when your opponent was going to stop left riding.
I
If they ran a
fought people left,
5-9,
right, and on my PG with like 56 perimeter defense. Like it wasn't that bad. It's just if you overcommitted, you were getting killed. You know, it was more subtle movements to either side. That was the key. Yeah, all the locks were crying, so now the game's just in disarray now. I don't know.
yeah.
I mean,
Seen all the top PGs get boxed, so I don't know how anyone's scoring anymore.
I'm just gonna say, the left right with Bull with Shifty later on in the year. I think that would have broken the game.
D-Rose SIG size up on Bull.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
Sounds fun.
I don't know how that works in my team though, because those SIGs like the D rows and stuff you couldn't get on anyone over 6'5". I don't know if that
You-
translates to my team.
Oh, it doesn't
No,
matter. You can't get
it does-
mismatch
it
on
doesn't
a
matter.
you can't get mismatch on a guard that's over 6'4" on the park, and like I'm pretty sure they gave mismatch to like
Melo.
Yeah, true.
Melo was half
That is
mismatch.
true.
they gave some 7-foot center in that
Why
limited
did-
edition set mismatch too.
Why did they give Carmelo Anthony half mismatch expert?
Why not?
Yeah, for the look, I don't know.
I don't know.
For the
They heard
look.
everyone was gassing the badge up and thought it'd work on a 6'7", I guess. I don't know.
So since they're patching everything now, what would you guys like to see get patched next? Seems to be a trend. We get one every season. So
Bailout.
Did you, wait, was it this year in the dev blog, like game, or was it 2k21 in the gameplay blog? They were like, bailout's going to be more overpowered. Was it this year's or last year's?
I think it's this year, I think.
They were like, oh, you're going to throw less turnovers, passing out of jump shots. It's like, oh, the bailout's going to be more OP.
It like doesn't even like require any skill to bail out of a pass, and it's like if somebody makes a wrong read, they get rewarded, and it just drives me crazy.
Why is it so hard to steal bailout passes? That's my biggest problem with it. Is that someone will bail out and the ball will go so slow through the air, but no matter what player you have, they will not steal it. It'll go through their hand.
That's impossible.
Probably some coding to do with the badge or something. I don't know.
Like the worst part about it is when you have your right stick up, like if you're playing 2-1 and then you contest the shot, and then you like your guy gets stuck in the animate. Don't even get me started on that. I could write a 5-page paper about like.
We're here for the rant. You have a free room to go crazy.
It's terrible.
I mean,
1 second, guys. I'm gonna try and 1 second, guys. I'll edit this after, but I'm gonna try and fix this. Like, the visuals are just like terrible. I think maybe if I make this smaller, like.
No, it's all of us on this. It's everyone's visuals are off on Discord, so it makes no difference.
I think I just made it
like.
No, like it's like
no, it makes
it's like 180p. I'll edit this after 480dbg. I think I fixed it.
No, it's same even on my Discord. People are lagging in Discord.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn. Well,
just got some upload issues over here, you know.
Committed now.
And this doesn't need to be edited out. This is 30 seconds of a probably 2.5 hour podcast, or 2 to 2.5 hour podcast, so it doesn't really matter.
The way they've been.
I'm not known for editing videos, as we all know. I'm looking forward to the hate thread on Reddit complaining about the fact that this wasn't edited out of the podcast. Oh, Ty, I assume you haven't gone down. Don't do it. I assume you haven't gone down the rabbit hole of reading all the crap that's written about you in forums.
Nope. I do not go on Reddit, and that's something I'm not going to do. Do
not do it.
I have a hard time thinking there's anything productive on that website.
No. DFS. Shout out DFS and Floki. I'll give them props.
That's
but
true.
Brucey's on there too.
There was an entire basically in my point guard tier list. I forgot to put Ja Morant on it, and I was like, okay. At the end of it, I was like, he's kind of in the same tier as like Steve Francis. So I completely forgot. So I was like, if people are asking in the comment section and didn't watch the video, just troll them and say I said he was in C tier. And there's an entire thread on Reddit being like, DBG's an idiot. He said Ja Morant was in C tier. And the first comment is just, you didn't even watch the video. He said at the very end to troll people who commented without watching the video to say he's in C tier. An entire post explaining why Ja Morant is not C tier. And I'm like, oh dear Lord.
That's crazy.
I mean, I got popped off Reddit regularly. I think at one point in time, my streams were getting like 5 viewers right when I first started. Tried to throw my link up there once or twice. Got my account banned. I was like, well, yeah, I'm good. I'm up out of there. I was just trying to find a friend. Sorry guys.
Maybe in their like live chat thing, the weekly thing, they might, but you can't like do a dedicated post to it. You will get banned.
Reddit. I need to turn this on just get some more light in the room. But Reddit's probably the most fine of them all. Like Reddit's a bunch of old heads who don't really know the meta. So like,
careful what you say from here on out.
Yeah, we're gonna have another depreciation thread, DVG.
Depreciation thread on other forums. Okay, basically, Ty, I'm not going to say the name of the forum, Ty. So basically, there is a forum where it's like, basically, there is a 2K forum that's mainly a MyTEAM one. And then they banned a load of people. So the people that got banned made their new forum. And I went one time and looked at that new forum. And like, it is like the lowest of the low insults. Like, constant insults about my appearance, just personal insult after insult, because I looked up myself on that because again, I'm nosy. I just was interested. And then it's not even, and like the stuff was bad about me, but like the stuff is worse. Like I think I've read stuff about Henry, about JD, about 6-man Sam giving him abuse. Like, so I basically said on one of the streams that place just a cesspit. Like it's the worst place to go. Don't ever look at it. And what did they do? Instead of just ignoring it and proving me wrong, they've proved me right by putting an entire hate thread about myself, Jacob, and Dale, where they just insulted all of our appearances. So they just proved me right. So I'm like, okay, yeah.
Oh
As soon as Jacob said it to me, I was like, they literally just did exactly what I accused them of doing on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, that's just the nature of the internet, though. Really.
Oh yeah, and I'm like, I understand why I get trolled. Like, I will egg on the trolls. Like,
sometimes I do too. But that's why I'm glad I don't go on Reddit, because I feel like it make me say things that I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And I just too much hate in this world, and they can hate on me. I'll take.
I just respond with thumbs up or lol to all the hate posts right now.
I mean, I don't know. It depends on how much time I have in my day. Sometimes I get kind of bored, and you know, some of those guys who are going on about me not knowing how to dribble because of the patch. That did get under my skin. I wasn't happy.
They went to Dale. They started insulting Dale in one of the posts as well. Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Dale don't even stream. He just you know, chilling.
He's just here.
He's just chilling.
Yeah, here. Like, people will do or say anything, man. Just it's crazy.
But some of the things are funny though. Like, so many of my tweets are bait, and people don't realize. Like, all of these, like some of the tweets are actually fucking serious. But like, I can't remember, I tweeted and it was like, there are 2 million people that bought NBA 2K21 at launch. I was number 1 in the world. None of you guys at one time, or at one stage, I was the best player in the world out of all of them in 5v5. None of you guys can say that. Like, that bait. Like,
I mean,
so many. Obviously, Ty can. He's in here, but like, so many of my tweets are bait.
Week 1 DBG. I don't know. I wish we would have played. That would have been fun.
Like, I just knew I was just the best at exploiting something that was unguardable. Like, it wasn't like I was good at the game. I would just run horizontally, and you couldn't contest it.
I feel like when you ran or got like a moving shot, you had so much time to get that thing centered.
It was so much time. It was unguardable.
I mean, it was really just a fact. It was like whoever was the best at like week 1 on 2K21 was like who set their pride aside and just started shooting with the stick, because like people were shooting like 3 for 30 or like 3 for 70 from 3 with the square button. It was like, if you wanted to be good, like actual week 1 before the first patch, like it was like you had to set your pride aside and just shoot with the stick. Like that was all you could do.
I kept trolling. I remember Shake constantly was posting rants about and being like, "Oh, no one can shoot this game's ass." I would just keep screenshotting games of me going 20 of 20 from 3 and just being like, "Just get better." Get better.
I felt like eventually they were gonna patch it. So I remember like during my videos or like gameplays, I was like, guys, I mean, I got decent with this stick, but I was like, guys, I'm just gonna show you what it's like shooting with square, because this is eventually what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Yes, I just remember you were practicing everyone was practicing the Sam Fam thing, where they were like with the controller, where it was like flick up and then flick down, bring it down. I was there like claw grip. No one was better than me, because I literally had a special grip for moving at the perfect length. Like, I had that down to a science.
There was another rumor to press L2 when it was in the center or something like that. I was trying to do that too.
That didn't work.
That
did work. It worked on next gen. No, it was something they put it in the dev blog and said it made a difference. But Mike Wang wrote the dev blog, and it was in the game on next gen. It wasn't in the game on current gen.
Oh yeah, that's why you'd see
right.
next gen. You used to see like greens, but it wasn't centered, right?
Yeah, you could shoot a wide right and green on.
So weird. Yeah, I remember it happened to me. I think there's a clip of it somewhere on my Twitch of it happening.
Yeah, the stick.
That game is just mental.
Imagine if they didn't patch the stick though. What would have happened? 2K21 have been like.
Well,
worse.
The thing was,
worse than it was.
If they didn't patch the stick, square shooting would have been buffed anyway. It was just the Zen Lords were running.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The 250 would have been an absolute disaster if they didn't patch it.
Well, to be fair, they didn't patch the Zens, but they patched the center script, and everyone would have known straight. They patched, the vibration. Everyone would have known. If you see someone centering, okay, they're Zen. Like that's
Right.
you can't center with no meter. Like it was, as someone who played nonstop with the stick, I labbed that so much you could not do that consistently. It was impossible to quick
I
stop into a
tried that
center.
as well.
It was impossible to quick stop into a center. So if you saw someone quick stopping into a center with no meter, they were zenning. There was no ifs or buts about it. They were zenning.
I
And
just
it's like
we
last,
got. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say it's like last year. I remember people would go like 17 for 19, and nobody would ever know if they had a Zen or not. And so like that was the whole next thing. It's like you had people accusing everyone of a Zen, and it was just. I'm just glad we don't have to worry about that this year because that was a mess.
We got zenned in, myself and Dale, we got zenned in FIBA. In the FIBA, like European Championships, we got zenned.
Really?
yeah.
And we were playing as a guy. He didn't miss. He was playing for Cyprus. He was the only player that could do anything on his team, but he didn't miss for the whole game. And then in regulation, he had a wide open layup to win the game, and he double clutched a wide open layup to win the game. And in overtime, we realized he was zenning, and I was just literally like, everyone, just let him shoot layups, make him shoot layups. He double clutched 2 layups in overtime. We won. I was like, at the end of the game, I was like, yeah, he's zenning.
All things considered, like the Europe bracket, like we had him zenning, I believe, and that was it. The Americas bracket, everyone had a zen.
5 Zens for the
Zens
whole
all
lineup.
over the place.
That was so funny. And like teams complaining about others zenning while zenning themselves was the funniest.
Yeah, it's just
Every player, there were of the 3 good teams in that, every single player had a zen.
Yeah, I remember hearing stuff about that on Twitter too, or seeing stuff, and I just.
Splash was there. Splash was there like, oh, they finally missed. Oh, the finals. The commentators were like in the finals because they didn't miss. They were all shooting so badly in the finals. And like the commentators like, oh, they're so nervous. They're nervous for the finals. And Splash is just there in the chat being like, interesting to see the actual game when they're not using a Zen.
It's crazy.
The jokes were good though. I liked the Zen Debo jokes. I liked the, you'd hit a couple greens in a row on stream, unplug your Zen. Those are good jokes anyways came out of it. So I guess positive somewhere.
I remember like you'd green like 6 or 7 or 5 or 6 in a row, and you'd have in the back of your mind, okay, let's just make sure that like, not that you purposely missed, but it was in the back of your mind that you didn't want to get accused of a Zen.
I mean, the easiest way to not get accused of a Zen was dunk. Like,
True.
Could
like
you
drive
really
to the
not dunk?
basket
Could you
and
not
score.
dunk with a Zen plugged in? Like with this,
I double clutched.
you double clutch
clutched.
every time.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I don't think I really had to play.
I didn't know that for
One-
ages
once or
either.
twice.
I don't think a lot of people knew that.
I only knew that because of the situation with Utah, and I'm obviously not going to say who the person was,
Right. Yeah.
where that person was very evident. They were center scripting, so they were very evidently using a Zen, and like your main reasoning for knowing that they were Zenning was like he double clutched like 4 layups. He didn't go inside every time he went inside the 3-point line. He double clutched.
Mm-hmm.
Situation was mental. Obviously, we're not going to say names, but
No,
the detective work that went on after that by so many people.
there was the detective. There was so much detective work. In fairness, I was in the chat being like, not possible to quick stop into a center with no meter. Like literally being like, that is not possible. What is happening? Like as someone who labbed the stick nonstop, that is not possible.
I just thought it was funny how there was people who had Zens but were still like not good enough to get open. So like if you lost a game with a Zen, like you're just down bad, dude. Like send that thing back, get your refund, get a new hobby.
It wasn't even hard to get open last year. That's the funny thing.
You just had a speed glitch.
Yeah, speed glitch is crazy.
It's going to be hard if you're playing against like a tie or something, but against most people, relatively easy to get pretty open in that game. And if you have a Zen, you could just pull from the logo anyway.
What do you think was more AIDS? Speed glitching with Taco or side to side quick / shifty bursting with Taco on current gen or next gen? Which do you think was worse? The burst. I think because Taco didn't, he wasn't a threat shooting on current gen because he didn't have hot zones, but on next gen he hit every single shot. I think that he was hard to guard on next.
I feel like I don't know. When I played comp, like some dudes, like you'd sit or like not let Taco under the rim, then he'd quick stop and hit one out of every two greens or whatever, and you'd just be so derailed. Like, how are you supposed to stop that?
Well, the thing is most people didn't realize that even beyond the side to side on next gen, the shifty crossover is what was really crazy with him. Like, that was like, I made like a Final Four 2K Legends and beat like 250 quals on my way there. And like, I'm not that tough. The only way I was able to do it is because no one was doing that with Taco. They'd all try and side to side, but that shifty long crossover with him on next, man, like there was no way to stop it. Like,
I was very tough to beat. Like, I beat a lot of the best players in Europe. Like last year, Crispy was unbelievable on EU. I beat him. I nearly beat Denver on NA last year when Denver was good. Literally deep hashing with Taco Fall and Sinfular because tall players couldn't guard other tall players. Like, that was the worst part about it, was that the only people that could really guard, like Taco was the best defensive player on current gen. He was the worst defensive player on next gen because tall players couldn't move when they didn't have the ball in their hands. It's like you could not use Taco. Taco Fall had to guard the other team's cone on next gen, which was mad.
Right.
All things aside, though, like we're in a pretty good spot with 2K22. Like when we talk back on 2K21, like it was literally the lesser of two evils if you wanted to play current or next gen. Like they were both pretty poor state, especially by the point we got Taco. Like those games were not in a good state by the end of the year.
I think 22 is so much until like maybe we'll find out the game breaking flaw, but I think 22 is better than 21 and 20, definitely.
I feel like a lot of people complain about the game, but if you compare it to last year, like I think as a complete game, it's okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Everyone's gonna be pissed off at times. It's a sports game. Like everyone's gonna. That's the problem with sports games is that they have to keep RNG in the game because at the end of the day, it is a game that's made for casuals, and that's a problem. It's a big problem in FIFA as well that it's like the BS stuff that happens because they want to make it simulate real basketball for the casual players. Yeah. And like that's what kind of causes the BS. But it's like a lot of the things I actually think 2K22 is like there's very few major exploits in the game. There's no ridiculous things like a speed glitch or tall players moving faster than smaller players for no reason, or an unguardable between the legs where you can constantly put it through your legs up the floor, or dribble glitch behind the back, or an unguardable base 11 jump shot. There doesn't seem to be any of those this year. Yes. Someone will figure out something. We don't see anything yet.
We haven't got a base 3 on very quick. Yeah, that'll change the game. I promise.
It's hard to shoot with that.
You ain't getting a contest on anything.
No, you can't get a contest, but you actually got to be decent to shoot with that. Maybe it'll be different when everyone's got 99-3 in every shooting badge, but like, I'm not going to lie. At the park, I was playing parks and my count finally got unbanned for the first time the other night, and like, I was kind of smoky with that base 3. It's not that easy to shoot.
I mean, you've always been 50 at park, though, realistically.
Yeah. I mean, I'm there
Sniper
for fun.
Doesn't do anything. I was like, Sniper doesn't even do anything anymore.
My sniper badge never worked, so...
I don't know. Michael Red is like training wheels for shooting. Ty, have you played through Clutch Time yet?
I played like 15, 20 games, I think.
Okay. Yeah, because that Michael Red, he's like the training wheels of shooting, as people have been saying. Like, you just got to press square. He'll just make anything.
He's so good, and he has Ray base. He's incredible. But I hate base dribble style. But
keep bragging about the fact that you got him in 30-something games, Jacob.
It was 41. It was 41. I got the method. Hit my DMs, $20. I got the method.
Sit there for 5 minutes and forget to hit X. Watch 2K15 videos. And then spin for 5 minutes. I'm at nearly 100.
It worked for me. Man, that was actually hilarious, though. I went back on my stream. Wow, like during the time I was letting my wheel spin to get red or whatever, which was just all luck. I'm just trolling. But I went back and watched those old 2K15 videos. I had like 3 on my channel, and I thought I was just going to be terrible. But man, it looked like I was having fun, man. Off the glass lobs. Like I was going kind of crazy back then. I was stunned. I thought I was going to be terrible.
Wait, Ty, do you know that Jacob has a collab video on YouTube with Chris Move?
No.
He is one of the very, very few people that have a video, have his voice on the Chris Move channel.
I didn't know
Yeah, I hardly want to talk about it because I know people in my chat are gonna type "Here we go again!" ... because I've definitely told the story quite a few
I'd say it
times.
if I was that, I'd say it every day. I still bring up week 1 DBG. That's nothing compared to being on Chris Move's channel.
Yeah. Yeah, it was way back. It was way back in the day, like in like 2K11 or something like that. Like I used to make YouTube videos back then, and I made like a background for his YouTube channel or whatever. He's like, "Hey, how can I repay you?" I was like, "I don't know. Like, what do you think?" He's like, you want to come on my channel for like a dual commentary?" And yeah, the video's still up. I was 14. It's kind of embarrassing. Please don't watch it, Ty.
that. That's cool. I might have to.
I mean,
It's a lot.
it's bad, but
It's
like,
not-
if you're 14, you kind of got an excuse. Like, I remember in the video, like, he's like, "So what you been up to?" And I'm like, "Man, I've been so busy lately. Like, I've been going to basketball practice." I'm like, "Dude, I was 14. I had nothing but time on my hands." Like, I was just saying anything.
That's cool though that you got like kind of that experience because Chris moved back when I was that young.
Yeah, like honestly, like
I know Jacob bragged about it to all of his friends.
no.
Why wouldn't he?
I didn't tell any of my friends. My friends didn't watch it. This was 2011. Like, I kept it a secret. I was doing YouTube videos because my friends would like probably tell me that was the dumbest thing in the world. Like, you're making YouTube videos on 2K? Like, are you good, dude? Like, you want to hang out or something? Like,
It was. All I'm gonna say is it was the $1 million idea. It was. It really was.
If you started back then, like everybody who I was like really close with, like Anto was like Anto the boss, the big like Madden guy, has like over 1 million subs now and stuff. Like me and him like did everything together back then. Like, you know what I mean? Like we'd be in Skype calls editing videos together or whatever. Like, and then he just kept doing it and blew up. And then I just like actually did get busy with life and stuff. Got turned 16, got a car, and was like, yeah, I'm just not staying inside making YouTube videos anymore.
Yeah. It's funny though, where it's like, you think we all kind of knowing what we know now, you always think like, geez, if we had started like 2-3 years earlier, what would the situation have been like?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you started a pretty good time, DBG. Like, it's actually
I started.
immaculate how long you actually grinded that out for. Like, what was it, like a year before you hit like 1,000 subs or something?
It was 14 months before I hit 1,000 subs. I hit 1,000 subs in August of 2016, and from March of 2016 to August of 2016, I didn't miss a day uploading. So I upload. Yeah.
What did you just enjoy it? Is that why you did it? Did you like, or did you do it because you wanted to do this or be what you are now?
So basically, once I started making money, it was just literally do whatever the hell I can to get as many views as possible, see what it is, have a little bit of fun, and make it a job. But it was like, at the start, in Ireland, when we finished like our final year of high school, we don't, like, the last year is all that matters in our high school. So we have one big set of exams where every single person sits the same exams, and then we got scored in like a point system. And then those points directly determine where you can go to college. Nothing else matters. Literally nothing else through all your school, 14 years of school, matter except for these set of exams and the points you get in the exams. So I was so stressed about that when I finished, I decided, you know what, I'm just not going to work during the summer. I'm not going to work during the summer after that. So, because I just wasn't in the right headspace. But after about 2 or 3 weeks, I was like doing nothing, sitting at home all day, playing 2K for like 8 hours a day. So I was like, screw this, I'm just going to do something productive. Made a couple of YouTube videos. It went nowhere. First year of college, like when I was in first year in college, I was playing, it was my first year playing National League basketball. And I was like top scorer in all of the Dublin under 20s league, like the highest underage level. I was top scorer in the whole league. So basketball was going really well. YouTube went on the back, took a back seat, didn't really focus on it. And the following year, it was my first year playing up Super League's top league in Ireland, and I was getting no burn, and I felt like I should have been getting burn, so I was pissed off at that. And then for my club's second team, who I was starting on the previous year when I was like 18, I was like 20 at this stage, and I was playing 0 minutes a game. So like I was on the club's first team playing like 2 minutes a game and playing 0 minutes for the second team because a new coach came in. So I was pissed at basketball. I hated college because I just didn't get on with the people in my course. Like, they're actually all fine people. I just didn't get on with them at all. and I basically was everything was going so badly that I needed something to take my mind off it, which was YouTube. And then YouTube went from a couple of thousand views or a couple of hundred views, 2,300 subscribers at Christmas of 2016, and then by March it was earning enough that I was earning more than when I used to work in full time during the summer. So it kind of became it went from nothing to, and then it went from nothing to earning more money than a teacher in 4 months. So it kind of went crazy. And then B-Ball Daily, I started up that channel. Had like 4 million view videos in the first year of that, which was crazy as well. So it just kind of.
And then you found the intangible stat and took over the.
No, that's what started it all. Finding out the intangibles. That intangibles is the thing. Like we all know about it now. Oh, higher intangibles equals bad card. But yeah, finding out that was the one thing I found from Reddit. It was a Reddit post that I found that from. But I just put it on YouTube and spammed the living daylight out of intangibles videos for about a month.
Look at Reddit, man.
Yeah, Reddit really backpacking DBG's career, and he's just sitting here talking about calling them old heads.
It's probably a really old thread from that back then when that happened. He was definitely given no credit and just went on.
No, I literally was. Hey, you guys know the DBG channel. I was 100% hit record, scrolled through Reddit, and was like, this is this. What is? Oh, these cards are better. Go on to 2K Empty Central, upload. Like
the money formula.
Money formula.
What I like back then, like when you were doing that, like what was Twitch like? When did people start streaming like MyTEAM on Twitch?
Back then, it was like Los was pulling in. I think Los wasn't even pulling in 1,000 viewers. He was in and around 1,000. The biggest MyTEAM streamers like Cash would occasionally stream, TYDEBO would occasionally stream. But I'm pretty sure the biggest, like, consistent streamers were Caldy and Big C Richie was up there. Yeah. Big C Richie was big back then. Like, he just never adapted his content whatsoever over, like, the course of 5 years and his channel died. Like, but Richie was, like, he was doing really well for a time.
Yeah. Crazy time.
I'm trying to think when I first started playing maybe 2K 16, 17. Back when calling 9s and 8s were a thing, Carlos, I remember.
Carlos is big.
I do remember
Carlos wasn't that big.
Yeah.
Carlos only blew up in 19. Carlos was only averaging like 100 viewers on stream, if even. Like Carlos only had like 20,000 subs going into 2K19 and then just boomed. He decided, you know what, screw it. Carlos quit his job and then blew up that next year.
But I remember, but yeah, that's what MyTEAM streams, at least that I used to watch, were just calling 9s and 8s.
Yeah.
Imagine if we could do that. Imagine if we could just relax, talk, and every 15 minutes, maybe play the game, play Triple Threat for a couple of games. Then every 15 minutes, we're on the dang auction house. That would be so nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that much. Have you not seen some of my Friday morning streams? There are times where I just say, screw this, I'm not playing the game. You guys don't want to see. You guys aren't here for playing the game, and I sit in the menus for 2 hours.
Definitely do.
I would
definitely do watch those.
I would be a lot more happy to like actually work the auction house if there was still 8s and 9s or whatever it was back then. Like that was just so cool because like you would like kind of get like, all right, these are going to be the first 3 things I check right when the auction like flips, like every 15 minutes.
I know we look back on it fondly, but it was objectively bad. Like, not updating every second is objectively a bad thing.
But
someone explain to me what this is, because I only started playing MyTEAM in 20. So
yeah, so what it was, so like
I have no idea.
Now, like, of course, the auction house is live. If I go post a Pink Diamond T-Mac right now and you search for Pink Diamond T-Mac, you can get them right away. Back then, up until, I forget, 2K18 maybe, it only updated every 15 minutes. So whatever cards got posted between right now is 5:54. If I posted a card, you wouldn't be able to see that card on the auction house until 6 o'clock. And 8 was dedicated towards PlayStation and 9 was dedicated towards Xbox or whatever it was. That might be backwards, but people would spam in Twitch chats 888 right when the PlayStation auction house would refresh, or 999 right when the Xbox one refreshed. So the auction house only updated with the new cards that had been posted and at 15-minute intervals, essentially.
It's
Do
mental.
you remember locker code camping streams?
Oh, I remember those. I literally, my brother and I would sit there for hours just waiting. It was so unhealthy, but we did it.
The cards were too good, man. They were like the best
They were the
cards in
best
the
cards in
game.
the game.
It'd be like equivalent to today if like they were like, yeah, we're not gonna release Pink Diamond Giannis this week. We're just gonna give him away in a locker code, and if you don't type it in the first 45 seconds, you're never getting him. Like
That's cute, Jacob. 45 seconds. You had about 8 seconds to type in that full code.
yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I used to do them too, and I had the Bluetooth keyboard set up with my phone, and I remember it was 15. It was my first year of college. I'd be in the library, and like when one would drop, I'd like set all my stuff, like all my studying stuff to the side, and like pull out my Bluetooth keyboard and just rip them off. I only got a few of them, but they were the best cards on my team.
Yeah, that was like, again, type 2 fun. Like we remember that being good. We hated that at the time. We all were like,
No, that
why
was
are the best?
bad.
I mean,
We
there was
were,
like
like, as
locker
much-
codes must go. Like that's what people would
Yeah.
say. Hashtag
Like-
locker codes must go.
Like that was
And
right.
look where that's got us now.
When?
Because locker codes suck.
So when did you get good at 2K? Like I know obviously kind of the first kind of big tournament you won was the Valor tournament. But like had you been playing any competitive before that, or did you just happen to go from being decent to really, really good overnight or over
Right.
a short
So
period?
I would say 17 to that 2K17, that was my junior high school, and then 18 was my senior year. So I didn't play too much. And then 19 was my first year of college. And well, I kind of wanted to make the league. That was a bad idea, but I wanted to make the league, and so that happened. It didn't work out. And then so over Christmas break, my brother bought some packs. Started playing my team, and I played quite a bit. And then I got pretty good, I would say around. I was good. I would grind 12-0s for my friends, whatever. But I got pretty good around March. And I remember Valor always used to stream. And so one day he was just scrimming people, and I scrimmed him. And then we had a close game. I ended up winning by like 2. And then I was like, okay, maybe I should like start taking this thing more serious. So, I mean, really at the end, after post 250K, 2K19 is really when it kind of started.
Yeah, like you got. I just remember the way you played defense, because back then it was baiting defense was seen as, you know, like basic stuff you do now where you would like bait a pass. You would like pretend you were like leaving a player open, and then you would just hog the lane. Like that was what used to be seen as baiting defense. And I remember watching you play the first time, and you were like rotating players from one corner to the wing and stuff, and no one had ever seen it before, and no one knew what to do. Like I remember I text Crypto right after that. I think you beat him in the final of Valor Terms, and he texted and was like, or I was like, is he good or did he just fluke? And he was like, I don't know. I've never seen that defense before, so I really don't know. It was like no one knew how to score on it.
I remember earlier that year, 2K19, like probably January, February, I would always just play TTO for fun, and that's really what I did. I got into a big argument with my brother about whether off ball was okay or not. My brother said, and I literally got so mad at him because he said it takes more skill to off ball than to on ball. I'll never forget. He said that to me, and I said, "What? You were condoning off balling?" Then boom, flip the switch, and the rest is history. So shout out Nate for telling me to
Yeah,
off.
so Nate's really the one that created the greatest offensive 2K player we've ever seen.
If anybody ever gets mad at me for off balling, it's blame Nate.
Blame Nate, man.
Do you?
Oh, I laugh when I always see that, the whole like the argument that like off balling is so ass and yada yada. Because so many people, when you play JD in his chat, were like, "Oh, that's what he gets for off balling," and I was just like, Ty plays off ball. Like, do you watch Ty? Like,
There is no player that abuses the game mechanics more than JD. Like JD, there is no like
JD.
if you on ball JD, he will send JD's Carlo. Like, you know the way Carlo just constantly sends back cuts and you just can't. JD is literally Carlo. That's the way he plays on current gen. Like I played against him. I was like, okay, yeah, first possession on ball, hit with a back cut. The back cut glitches my AI. Okay, then fine, I'm gonna off ball. Bang, back cut on the other guy. So I'm like, okay, the only thing I can do is like double team and try to swing. I was like, I'm not good. I don't do that well, but it's like he is like literally just Carlo. He's a mixture of Carlo and Peja. Those like full court. If you full court press him, he'll do the full court
pass,
full court triangle passes as well that you can't guard. Like he is like people obviously don't because obviously he doesn't stream much anymore. He doesn't like he mainly focuses on so he doesn't stream on Twitch at all anymore. He streams on Facebook. People don't know. JD Crossover, as much as people like to say he sucks, he's the most AIDS 2K player. Like he won't green many shots. He won't play lanes that well. He won't play defense that well. But my God, is he the best player I've ever seen abusing the offensive mechanics? Because he just plays offline. Because he just plays so much like domination offline stuff like that. So he just knows how to glitch the AI.
It's part of the game. Seems like he did pretty well. Though he had a pretty good limited record last year for whatever, or last season for whatever that's worth. You know,
he's so good.
Yeah.
Like he. Do you know Jacob? Do you know Sir Oliver?
No, never heard of him.
Basically, this guy was like
You've
one
definitely
like a
heard
really
of him. He was
really
in
good
Jack's
stage
games.
player
Oh,
in Europe.
Yeah, okay, I do remember the name.
Part
now.
of the Demericans, you know.
Yeah,
Oliver.
JD beat Sir Oliver so badly that he quit 2K.
That's crazy.
He also went out with a bum team. I literally offered him my account. You know, he would
doing
have
that.
had a better chance.
Oh, you know what I wanted to ask Ty while I got you here is, can you do me a favor and remake the MSP Timberwolves jerseys? Like, it just doesn't really feel like, you know, it doesn't feel like a Ty stream unless those MSP jerseys come back. Can you make those on like your actual account?
Wait. The blue ones? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the white blue ones. Those are like all you wore when I first started watching you, and like that's like the Ty nostalgia for me. You know what I mean?
That's very true.
Those jerseys are I should if I was to create a jersey, those jerseys are I love those.
Yeah.
It's confusing what you're saying, but yeah, those jerseys I did.
Those are like
that
the
2K20 tie train was just mental. The amount of people you come across on Unlimited rocking the jerseys, they have the Rats as their team name. You're just like, whoa. This is
it's
following.
It's one of the things you got to wear the Timberwolves jerseys if you don't want to get old.
They'd have the two-way.
The worst.
PSN.
Dale, the worst thing is now is that all the like 14-year-olds in like 2K20 that used to call themselves two-way blank, that used to just be bots and suck. They all have played the game so much. They're all good now. Two-way player. There's a guy named Two-Way Player.
Video, man.
There's a guy named Two-Way Player. Has all like Timberwolves jerseys. This guy I used to beat by 70 points in 2K20. He beat me this year. I'm like, these kids are getting good.
I mean, Two-Way Dan sold me in the park last night, so you know. But the kids are good. The kids are good.
Generation of 2K, they're just in 3 years from now.
That's why I gotta make the most of it before I become an old head and all these youngins. They're gonna be better than me.
Yeah, you better learn those Sim Nation plays quick, Ty. It's gonna blink and be here, man.
Ty, I'm just gonna say this. I've been doing this full time since I was 20. You'll become an old head faster than you realize.
I need to just appreciate every day because you're exactly right. It seems like it's crazy to me that I've even been doing this for I guess 2 years now. Yeah, 2 years. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last year is kind of like everything's back to normal in the States, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. Outside of, it's basically back to normal, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not here. We're shutting down again.
That's what I can't imagine just going back after, you locked up and then you can do what you want and then going back. I don't know.
You've been getting busy too, Ty. You've been going to a lot of football games and stuff, eh?
I know, and that's one thing I'm trying to find a better balance a little bit, just because I don't want to burn myself out. So I go to Iowa, football and basketball games, and my family's going on vacation in December, big CPM time later this month. I know it's gonna be pain. It's gonna drive me crazy, but just finding a little better balance in life.
Yeah, that is huge because that's one of the most important things. Like you're bored, you're on the DBG schedule in terms of uploading, and I think that's anytime like I speak to you off camera, the first thing I'm being like, all I would say is like, is the balance okay? You're not spending too much time on this. You're doing all good, right?
Right.
Like that is the most important thing because I've gone crazy. Like again, it's not like from looking at videos you wouldn't notice, but like the entire year of 2018, my first year doing this full time, I don't think I was sane. And then like at times in around like July of 2k20, like when all the like, I think I sent a message to a bunch of people as well. Like I was losing my mind. So it's like, thankfully, like at least is Nate living with you or is he just?
Yeah, Nate's with me.
Yeah. So you have Nate with you anyway, and you have some other things. But yeah, the worst thing is if you're, at least you're not trapped by yourself because that's you can see what like when there are people that have lost their minds, and there have been a few guys in this community, unfortunately, in the last year that have done it live on stream, lost their minds. Like a lot of the time, they're alone.
Like I think you put it well when you once said like who we are like on stream or like in our videos like doesn't need to be who we are like you know when we're out and about. And so like when I'm with my friends, like it's like a separate world, you know. And so I think that's important as well, is that you're not made by this, you know, wherever you are on stream or on YouTube.
Yeah, no, it never should be. Like that's one of the things that like certain people don't realize, where it's like showing everything on the internet isn't quote unquote being real. That's just an unhealthy thing. Like expressing everything on the internet. Like the most real thing you can do is admit like, yeah, I'm completely different off camera than I am on camera. Like it's two completely different things, and that's okay. Like at the end of the day, like look, I absolutely appreciate everything with viewers, but it's like we don't necessarily know the viewers at the same time. Like they're sharing too much, there's going into too much detail. Like I could guarantee you that had I in 2018 fired up stream at the time, and like when I was losing my mind, video myself having a mental breakdown because quote, I need to be real, I need to show everything, that would have been the worst thing I'd ever done in my life. Like
yeah, it can only really backfire like if you like overshare or whatever. I mean, there's a balance. Like there's no reason to like get up on stream and like, you know, like say your name's Jeff when your name is James, but you know, like it's like you find a balance.
Yeah, like it's there are people we all know the people that their life has become the internet, and like that is my biggest fear. And like people have said that, like you've heard from plenty of people in the community being like, people talk about this like it's a video game, but all of us spend so much time, this is part of our lives. Like it is part of our lives, but like it's not our lives. And the people that are fully like their personality is like the game is tied into their personality and not just something they do for fun. Like they're the ones that really like you're gonna struggle mentally with this, because there's ups and downs, there's good things, bad things that comes with this. And if your happiness, if everything in life is based on the internet, there's gonna be some of the, like you're gonna be in some of the worst positions you've ever been in mentally. Like it's rough. That just got very, very deep. So deep hash or screens, which took more skill?
Oh God, we're not starting this again.
No. Because
dude, we all know what that caused the first time around.
I'm just saying, these screen users don't understand.
Don't understand what? How to circle the stick in the right fashion to get to the cup? Like
I'm just saying, in 2K19 with the Magic Johnson behind the back, that took skill. Using Giannis Eurostep dunking after going to the hash, took skill.
I mean,
hop stepping and spamming pump fakes to glitch the AI in.
Skill. You know what else took skill? Running 7'1" Shaquille O'Neal as my starting point guard. That took skill too.
Oh my God, that was.
Trying to left right with James Worthy as your point guard. Awesome. You know who James Worthy's got a guard on the other end of the court.
You were like, the worst part is like, I was part of the reason why. Like, I was the only person that ever ran a tournament that said, screw restrictions, do whatever the hell you want. I don't care. Do you remember back then every single tournament used to have rules being like, oh, you have to run a point guard, you have to do this, have to do that, you can't off, you have to on ball. And I was just like, do whatever the hell you want, I don't care.
This is the best way to run. That's the best way. I hate like unwritten rules in 2K.
There was no such thing as a no restrictions tournament until 2K19. Like, we had years of restrictions tournaments.
What would you say are some unwritten rules that exist in 2K? Because I swear there's none anymore.
None anymore.
Yeah, when
250 ended that. 250 ended.
When people pause me.
That's not an unwritten rule. That's just being an ass.
That drives me crazy.
It drives everyone crazy. That's why we do it.
That's the
Imagine if you had been in that game in 250 last year that ended on the flash pauses.
Oh, I swear, if somebody paused me and I win, oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm giving some good energy.
Man, Jen's still out here flash pausing. I played Jen the other day and like it was like my first game on, you know, like wasn't locked one bit. First game on for the day. I go down like 15 in the first quarter. I'm like, sheesh, like damn, I wasn't ready for this. Flash pauses me. I'm like, dude, did you not learn your lesson in 250? Like, you're not gonna get me out of here any longer. Matter of fact, I think I'm staying till halftime now, dude. Like, that was crazy.
Jen's hell though. Jen is hell.
He's really tough.
Like, if he qualifies, I think everyone on the PS5 side right now, I'm trying to think who they're scared to face, because obviously Jin is true on current gen.
Who's even on PS5? I know Breezy got in, didn't he?
I don't know.
Did Authentic get in on current?
Or Smooth got in. Authentic's on current. Smoothie got in.
Is Breezy not II Deep Pockets?
Yeah. He is.
Yeah, Deep Pockets got in.
Yeah. I don't even know. Smooth, obviously, Splash, RCA. RCA is going to be a tricky one. And best of ones, like, RCA is going to catch some people slipping.
The worst part is that I think RCA might be one of the toughest people because you can't scout for RCA. Because he will throw 5 different playbooks at you. Like, he will learn every playbook. And, like, no matter what you expect him to run, he won't.
And he's going to literally have some tricks up his sleeve, too. Like, I don't know, he's going to be interesting.
Yeah, especially in a best of one. Especially in a best of one, because, like, if you don't figure out what he's doing in the first quarter, like, he could just run it up on you real quick. So.
Yeah.
He's like, I would love it. Like, obviously, I would like to see RCA make a really good run at 250. Because if he does, the meta may change. Like, people started playing, when you won Global Champs and you won everything in 20, everyone started playing defense. When Splash started doing really well, everyone starts playing off screens. But if Plays all of a sudden, like, wins or comes close to winning 250k, I don't know what's going to happen then. Like, will people actually say...
Be like, I told you all along?
Will people? Because, like, RCA is so much better than... What was his name? Was it Mr. Hollywood, the guy that used to run Plays?
Hollywood, yeah.
Jomar ran a few plays, didn't he?
Jomar had a couple of plays in his back pocket, yeah.
Yeah, Jomar has plays for specific situations. RCA will run a different play every single session.
I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions about RCA, because I've played RCA a dozen times at least in some tournaments, things like that, and like, I don't know if it's different this year, but last year it was mostly just freelances he was running. Like, there was that one freelance that he'd run where there'd be 2 bigs high, and like one would slip. It must have been, it'd be like there'd be 2 bigs high, one would slip, one would pop, and like he would mostly just play out of that. Like, it wasn't like it was like set plays coming down the court every time like you play against like some of these play people. Like, it was like he was mostly just working out of like oddball freelances that you didn't really see too often.
Yeah, but he knew everything off that. Like, he would run, say, Hawks pot. Like, he would run a freelance, and like normally no one would ever run that freelance because you'd be like, oh, when the ball goes here, players start cutting and doing all these mad stuff. Like, I just want spacing. Whereas RCA actually knows where everyone's cutting, what way they're looking to get the ball, and what way he can get a score. Like
the problem with playing RCA is against other people who don't play like that, you can force them to take the 2. where you can try and literally just gatekeep the 3 with RCA, and he still might get one off because of like you just don't know what is coming. Like with a screen user, if you're like giving this guy the 2 right now, like in a situation, like just give him the 2, like easy enough. You play dumb high, hedge high, whatever. But like against RCA, there'd be times when I'd be up 3. And I'd be like, just no threes, no threes, no threes. Try and play high, and all of a sudden there's some dude trailing from the corner off a down pin screen. I'm like, no.
I'm trying to think.
Go ahead.
Is he the most feared player on the PlayStation side? Like, sorry, outside of Splash.
I mean,
or is he?
It's hard to say right now because there's still 2 more qualifiers to go. But he's
it's
going to be
we
the hardest
know,
one to plan for.
Yeah, we know what RCA is. RCA is going to play like nobody else. He'll figure RCA will learn 5 new playbooks by then.
I forgot Kenny Zeus got in too. He's tough.
Yeah, I mean,
I haven't played a lot of people on PlayStation, so I can't really say. I played RCA and both Splash, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I think everyone is tough to qualifies for 250. Like even the worst 250k qualifier is tough. Like obviously
Carlo?
compared to 2. Did you not?
I'm just trolling.
We always say this about Carlo. Carlo is either really good and competitive or the worst player you will ever play against. There's no in between with Carlo.
There really
I feel
isn't.
like if you face Carlo in 250, he's gonna be locked. He's not gonna say I'm scared of him.
Did you see his tweet?
What he say?
Did you see his tweet before the quals?
What he say? Oh,
I looked at his
the notebook.
The notebook, yeah. Where you just can't even read what he's written.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I saw that.
But he didn't even sleep for 27 hours or something before quals. He didn't even.
Man.
He turned off his mic like you did. But we all thought it was intentional that he was just locked. He was talking the whole time. He thought his mic was turned on.
It's just the day in the life of a Carlo stream, though. You know,
It's crazy,
there's always some tomfoolery going on.
I'm glad he qualified though. Like he does. Say what you want about it. He deserves that, man. He's been grinding for a while.
Everyone loves him.
It's good to see that for real.
You were one of the people that 100-pieced him though, so there's also that.
Is that
He lost.
So if we see the Ty Carlo matchup first round, it's the trash talk on Twitter from Carlo will be something to behold. Anyway,
that would be the number
first round.
That would be the best thing ever.
he'd be talking mad smack online though, because he always does whatever he has to play.
I mean, he probably would start writing some stuff in his notebook that no one else other than him can read. I'm looking at it again. That is not.
He's gonna go into the first round of 250k on like 30 hours no sleep or something as well. You just know it.
Yeah. The worst thing is that like it's best of 1. Imagine if he fluked it.
There's no reason he can't. It might not even be a fluke. We don't know what Carlo we're gonna see when 250 rolls around. Like
Carlo beat your man She Love Comp by 20.
She don't love comp no more, I guess. I don't know.
I felt so bad for
chat afterward being like, I can't believe I was about to qualify and lost to Carlo. I don't know. Carlo played well in that run. So
Carlo's tweet after the first quals was so funny, and the fact he qualified the second time when he tweeted like, "I'm sick of these bum ass season 1 cards. I'm coming back and qualifying next season."
Yeah, that's my favorite part about all of it. He was spitting. Man, I think it was the cards that made me not like the game right out of the gate. I really think it was. Like, man, look at that season 1 lineup. I just hate those cards. Kyrie, Bob Cousy, kidding me? Like,
people have been telling you you're Opal made for years. Turned out to be true.
Jacob, you're the absolute opposite to me. Like, I love the start of the game because the only situation where the only like times that I'm good is when I can expose a weakness, a flaw of a player. Like if you have one player on the floor who's just a bum, I'm okay. So because I'll attack that bum on every single time and I'll just leave that bum open. Like I used to love playing against Kyrie because I would just attack Kyrie every single time. But now I'm not good. Like, as in, not good compared to the good players. Obviously, I won like 48 out of 50 games in clutch time, so it's not like I'm ass. But like compared to like good players, even in Europe, I'm ass this year.
Who's even really hooping in Europe this year? I haven't kept up. Is it just Danny and
Penny Magic's doing well. Penny Magic's playing well.
Yeah. Where's Crispy been?
Danto's Crispy's barely plays.
Yeah.
Danto has actually won the last 2 tournaments. The only person who Danto has lost to in a best of 3 series, as far as I'm aware, is me.
Yeah.
At the start of the year. But that was at the start of the year when he had Derrick Rose and I had my post-spinning ML car scoring every single possession on him and he didn't know what to do.
Why aren't EU people qualifying this year? Because last year, there was 4 of them, 5 of them, something like that.
There's not enough EU players in either gen.
Okay, so they just can't.
Like
get
you
games.
will face everyone faced a sweat game 1. Like streamers are matching up with each other. I faced a dude with Peyton, Kevin Garnett, and stuff. Like, and I mean, like obviously the guy I played wasn't comp, but I mean he was too much of a sweat that I could beat him while reading chat. So I just quit after a quarter.
My thing is this: even at the end of quals on Xbox Next Gen, when I went, it was me and G Rusty. There was nobody searching at the end. Like G Rusty couldn't find a game for like 2 minutes, and I tried for a minute, and I couldn't find a game. So
yeah,
I mean,
that's what used to happen back in the day in Europe. That's what happened to. Do you remember the 2k20 week where they added the extra hour?
Mm-hmm.
When it was Fatballs and Valor, I think were number 1 and 2, and then Valor lost. Like with the actual end of 4 hours, and then Valor lost, and I think Fatballs couldn't find a game for 30 minutes. I ended up finishing 5th. So it was like both of them should have qualified, and they both got hold. I don't think Valor retired after that.
Valor's been playing this year a little bit.
I think he's like doesn't take it as serious, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to take this game too seriously. Like obviously, like if we look at the greats from other years, like obviously Brown Boy's focused on the league, and Goggles obviously focused on he's doing his own thing as well.
Right.
Like there's a lot. Like obviously, Jin has been around the longest of anyone. Like Jin's been that dude since like 2K15, and still is unbelievable. I think he's the only one. And like even Shump stopped playing at one stage. Shump started playing FIFA.
Yeah, Shump doesn't play this year, does he? No.
He's back.
No,
he's back playing. He's back sweating clutch time.
Really? Nice.
Yeah. He DM'd me being like, "Who's the best shooting center in the game?" And I was like, "Probably Wang." He's like, "That's fine. All I need is a shooting center, and I'll just score 4s every possession with Drazen."
That's what's up. He was tough too.
Yeah. So many people that have been tough for years. Like, sure, you've lasted a while yourself, Ty. Like I know obviously you came at the end of 19, but even the likes of Splash only came at the start of 19. Like 19 with 250 was like the real time when actual comp MyTEAM started. Like back in the day in like 18 and 17, you could have the likes of Denver Struck, myself, YBC, getting to like, and Caldy doing really well in MyTEAM tournaments from playing the game 4 hours a week. But then now it's just got to the stage where it's like, the level of the top players is like, use our pros in everything but being paid.
I just feel like there's so many good comp MyTEAM players. Like it's just not the tops, it's just deep.
Yeah. It's like, it's scary now where it's like, you used to be able to beat everyone that was probably not a top 100 player in the world by 30. And now there's like 400 in that category that could keep you within 30. 400 at least. Like even some guys we've never heard of can play. Like
I played some guy yesterday who was so tough, and like I had no idea who he was. Like I played JB yesterday, and it was like a close game. Played like 3 or 4 bots and matched up with some dude, never heard of him, and he was just so tough. Like it felt like it was harder to play him than JB. I don't even know who he was, but he was sweet. I don't know.
Yeah. There's some weird players you play against this year where it's like, do you know the Fat Spain guy who's always in?
He's been around, hasn't he? I played him back in like 20 and like unlimited.
I think I'm pretty sure his brother is in Europe. I'm pretty sure Fat Spain and young Alan J are both professional basketball players, and one of them's currently playing in Europe, and Fat Spain's coming back over, I think, to play next year. But they are both tough. Like I played young Alan J. Dude plays with the meter, can barely green, and I couldn't pass the ball against him. I was like, holy crap, I've never played defense like this in Europe.
Yeah. But anyways, Ty, you been watching much of the NBA, like actual league this year?
Yeah, Well, I used to play daily fantasy last year, so I was like more into it. But I still be watching a lot of it, especially because the Timberwolves are like they're in the playoff hunt. I'm not gonna say they're gonna make the playoffs, but we're in the playoff hunt, and so that makes obviously that more fun to watch in general. But I feel like the NBA in general is just more balanced this year, and I don't know, it's just more fun in general to watch.
Ty, I'm saying, speaking of Timberwolves, you're a Timberwolves fan.
I was just gonna ask. I know what you're gonna
Surely you
ask
can
it.
even say how ridiculous this is. Maybe you're too young. Maybe Nate will have to answer this. But a tweet from Mr. Henry the Blasian
I think I saw your
saying
response to this.
Anthony Edwards is doing for the Wolves what Vince Carter did for the Raptors. Like Vince Carter.
Yeah, and
guy who-
here's the thing.
I get it. He made like Anthony Edwards is making Timberwolves basketball exciting again. But there are like infinite number of players that have done that in the NBA. But Vince was a one of a kind.
I don't like. I wasn't into basketball back when Vince was, but I know Ant isn't Vince's level. But I will say, being at Timberwolves games now is so electric, and it never was that before. Like fourth quarter time, Ant like just it just gets crazy in there. And so I mean, I'm not saying it's Vince level, but he has changed just how fun it is to be a Timberwolves fan.
Oh, there's no question about it. Anthony Edwards, complete correct pick. Like you actually Timberwolves hit on a pick for the first time since Cash. Like really good pick. He's gonna be absolutely exceptional. But Vince is just overkill. That's like the most hyped second year player in the history of the sport. Like Vince was more hyped in 2000 than LeBron was in his second year. Like,
well, you can't really compare the two because Toronto was on like the verge of losing their team at that point in time, weren't they?
No, they were only a team for 3 years.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure those first 3 years were like disaster.
Yeah, they were disastrous. The only player they had
like,
before Vince Carter was Damon Stoudemire.
Yeah. Man, I'll tell you what though, that block Cade had on Rocco the other night, oh man, that was crazy. Tried to tweet it at you, Ty, just had no words, man.
Tweet it, Ro? I didn't even see it. Let me see.
You did? I added you in it on Twitter.
I'm gonna look this up.
Oh, he sent him.
What night was it?
He sent him. It was like 3 minutes ago. 1 second. Here, I'll just I'll bump it to the top of your Twitter feed.
Where did two-way Rocco come from? Like, was that your nickname? Was that your name for?
Yeah, it's because of Rocco, man.
I know, but I mean, like, how long was that your name? Was before?
It's 2k19. I changed it.
Yeah, because I remember you were always two-way Rocco. And I was like, what's his name all about? Like, is this like Calderon fan for life type thing?
Hey,
you just picked this random very good role player.
It was literally my favorite player for the Timberwolves, and then he left.
Did he not only?
I love Rocco.
I'm pretty sure he only. Did he not only go to Timberwolves in like early 2019?
Or it was Sarge for somebody. Yeah, he wasn't there very long at all.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he was there for a year. He was there for a playoff. I don't know.
He wasn't there for the playoffs.
Did you tweet at me, Jacob?
Yeah, I just added you at it again.
He was part of the Jimmy Butler trade, wasn't he? Whenever Jimmy was...
Rocco was, yeah.
We traded Jimmy for him. You're right. Yeah, he wasn't... Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Chase down. Yeah, you're right. He didn't even make the playoffs. So, when was it? Yeah, I don't know. He wasn't there very long. Literally probably a season.
The Jimmy Butler thing is still up there with the top tier things that ever happened in the NBA offseason. Taking the bench and beating the starters.
That was a mess.
I mean, here's my thing though. Here's my thing with taking the bench and beating your starters. You take a star. Let's just throw Karl Anthony down. I don't think Cat could take the Timberwolves bench and have a close game in practice against the starters. I mean, what are they're NBA players?
Exactly. People don't realize the gap between the third string and the first string, isn't it? Like
the starters could beat the bench on any given scrimmage in the NBA. Like you just need one person to get hot.
Yeah, the bench could beat the starters, and that's the thing. It's like he made this whole scene, and look, I get it. But
it was Jimmy Butler was 100% in the wrong. It's just hilarious as a non-Timberwolves fan.
Yeah, I mean the Rockets just won 5 games in a row. Like most of the guys on the Rockets' entire roster would be like third stringers on like contending teams. So
right,
the Rockets won 5 in a row.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Have they unleashed Şengün yet?
Yeah, he was playing well. Like I watched like a little thing. Like I don't know. Apparently, they've been giving him more minutes.
The best part is that like I remember reading something about the Rockets and it was like, well, the Rockets are trying to lose games, so they're not playing Şengün because he's like so efficient and doing so much. It's like, dude's the sixth youngest player in the league.
He's super young. Don't you want to develop him? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just like, you're trying to lose, but you have a rookie that's better than Jalen Green, so you're benching him. Have you seen Şengün's like per 36 numbers? They're stupid.
I saw. Watch him play. He's tough.
Like he's averaging like 8, 5, and 3 assists on ridiculous percentage while barely playing any minutes. Like he's playing like less than 20 a game.
He does this thing where he like rubs the basketball on his face before he shoots his free throws.
Free throw, yeah.
Yeah, it was so odd. And I saw that. I was like, what is he doing?
It's Karl Malone all over again, where he's saying something and he will never let anyone know.
I don't want to know what he was saying. I can't lie to
you. People are
people
are like way too young to remember Karl Malone used to talk to the basketball.
I don't know.
You don't even, let's not even go with it.
Like it could be any of 13 things. Like I had to. I'm sorry, I had to. I can't mention without saying that number.
That's crazy.
Oh dear. Did everyone see Kareem's reaction to LeBron's
I saw the quote.
Celebration?
Yeah, I saw the first tweet reply was like, goats don't dance, but they do this. And it was Kareem just blindside sucker punching some other player. Like, okay.
I mean,
back in those days, it was no holds barred.
I mean, anything, if he didn't end it with goats don't dance, I would half agree with him. Because, like, I don't know, some of it is taunting, and like he would have a point, but anything with goats don't dance, you're like, okay, you're definitely feeling threatened.
You know who else feels threatened is LeBron. Like, clearly he does. He's trying to, get some attention or something. He's hitting 20-year-olds in the face. He's getting suspended and fined left and right. I think he just knows his time's coming soon, and he's just, gotta.
Yeah, that's like
the one
that's
thing we needed.
Scary.
The thing that we need to talk about is not that dance, but the other thing. Like, that's ridiculous.
The Stewart?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Thank you, Ty. I appreciate it.
Jacob's got some big opinions on this one.
One unpopular opinion. I think they both should have gotten a one. Like Isaiah, like Stewart didn't actually hurt anyone, and it's not Stewart's fault. He's too big and strong to be taken down. Like, plenty of NBA players have tried to attack people before, but they were able to be taken down. It's not Stewart's fault. He didn't hit anyone in the end.
I just hate the narratives people spun up around that.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, if you're Stewart, right, and you just see all that blood, what's your reaction gonna be, right? I mean, what would your reaction be? I'd be human. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like Braun should have got just as bad, if not worse.
That's the whole thing is people are saying like, oh, he was face to face and he didn't do anything with it. If you watched it, he
didn't notice he was bleeding.
Yeah, once he saw the blood, that's when he was like, oh shit, like now I'm talking business. Like, it's the same way. It's almost like people have like never been hit in the face before. I mean, I guess like you know what I mean? Like, it's a big difference if once you start weak and you're like, oh man, like this is crazy. Like,
the one thing is that LeBron clearly just tried to slap him, but he is a 6'9", 275-pound specimen, and him trying to slap somebody was enough to bust their face open. Like, he clearly didn't mean to bust his face. He meant to hit him, but he did not mean to hurt him that badly.
You could tell Braun like probably regretted what he did, but it's like you can't do that. Like, no matter who you are, you can't do something like that.
You say that, but like, we've all been on the court. We're obviously not as strong as LeBron. We've been on the court where we feel like, I don't know, what, did he think he got undercut in a box out or something? Or we're just frustrated and we'll swipe at somebody. Obviously, he caught him forearm to the face. But we've all, like, surely we've all swiped at someone on the floor out of frustration. It's just never gone that far.
Every time I've ever done something like that, though, I didn't walk around and say it was accidental for a whole extra week.
Yeah,
I don't up to it. Like, you're true. Right. You got me pissed off and I did something stupid. Like, good shit, I guess. Like,
Did any of y'all see what happened in Iowa after a game?
Oh Jesus, your man who knocked the guy out.
Oh, in the
did
handshake
you
line.
see this video?
Yeah,
Did you see this video?
Yeah, it was the handshake line, right?
God, yeah.
Yeah.
The dude just literally
I gotta
punched
go
him in the
watch
stomach, and then he
He
leaned
dropped
down,
him.
and
He
then he
dropped him.
boom.
Is your man? Is he okay? Like
I don't know.
he was out cold.
I don't
Like that
know.
could
All
have
I know-
really, really hurt.
All I know is dude got like arrested and assault charges, which he deserves, and I don't know.
Yeah,
He's
he
just
like
like-
he looked like he went limp. Like when he fell back, like he looked
He
like
did.
a rag doll. Like he went cold.
It was
That-
absurd.
That was like he should have just left punching him in the stomach. That's just a ban. You're not gonna get arrested for punching someone in the stomach. Like he could have killed him. Like a guy
He
just
could've.
literally pretend like about to shake hands with you, getting a knockout punch to the face. Like,
Yeah,
oh my god.
that's bad. People just gotta
That
stop
was-
sucker punching people. Push your fists up and say "let's go" if you really want to. But like, you gotta
Like
stop
in
sucker
the
punching.
post game handshake lines, there's better
I
like
just
do it
watched
during the
it
game or
there.
something.
I mean, anyone who's played
It's
basketball
so
knows no
unnecessary.
words have been exchanged in those post shake handshake lines, you know. But the
Well,
sucker
like-
punch is crazy.
Like you don't, and no matter what it is, like people in the chat are speculating as to what was said. Like we obviously don't know. The guy who knocked him out will obviously say something,
Right.
give an excuse. Either way, like imagine someone saying something to you in the game and you waiting until they had their guard down the handshake line to knock them out.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, because he clearly didn't say anything in the line. Like clearly nothing happened in that line before the punch.
Right.
I mean, he might have
But,
said something because, like, I know, like, people would like, slap hands, good game, and you come
No,
across a dude
'cause-
you've been chirping all game and say,
But he was like,
"You're a-"
he wasn't
something.
even.
He
there for
punched
it.
as soon as he saw
as soon
him,
as
he
you
got him in the
saw him.
stomach.
Yeah, I only
Nah,
watched it
you're
once.
right. You're right, Jacob. Like in post, that's people will say anything.
Yeah, because I used to have that happen all the
argument.
time too. There was like a few kids that would be like, whatever, like handshake. You'd be going across, slapping everyone, saying good game, and you see the one guy that you're chirping or whatever, and say something, But
Right.
I was always safe with those situations because I was built like a grown man when I was 14. So, like Ty, have you seen the pictures of me when I was 14?
I don't think I've ever seen any. No.
I'll send you DM 1 second.
Every sport was just like ice hockey though, and they just let players go at it. And first one to get knocked down, it ends there and then.
That'd be kind of cool.
I mean,
Yeah, like
Watch it.
it's just
It's the only thing I'll ever watch ice hockey for is the fights.
Right,
it's just
I mean,
too
really.
bad they I mean, yeah, you just can't do it at a professional level, Like you just can't. Like teams would just I don't know how it still happens in the NHL. Like honestly, like one day that's gonna
Because
backfire
it's
on
just
them.
part
Someone's
of the
gonna fall.
history of the sport. at
Yeah,
this
I
point.
know, but what are they gonna do one day when somebody gets their skull cracked open on the ice, and dies? It's probably
already
happened.
happened. I
Yeah,
don't know if anyone's died, but
it's just an unsafe
just
sport, really.
some
Honestly,
severe
hockey's
injuries.
crazy.
yeah. Ty, this was me at 14. Check DMs. I was 6'1" as well and dunking.
Jeez. You look like a dude that I used to play AAU against, and yeah, crazy.
Yeah, like-
that is crazy.
Everybody
Yeah,
had
that's-
those kids in their school, the one or two kids that just hit puberty way too young
Yeah.
and got huge real quick. 8th grade year was the year where half the team would look like men and half the team would look like little boys.
That was the worst. Like I went from being 14, being seen as one of the top 2 players in the country in Ireland,
Right.
and then by 16, I got cut from the national team because I couldn't play anywhere except the 4, and I was 6'1".
It's funny people fall for that though, because not fall for that, that's not the right word, but I'll be when I used to ref AAU, that's what I did in college for side money or whatever. I'd be reffing a team of 8th graders and there'd be one best player and I'd either be yeah, this guy's gonna be legit, or no, this guy just grew way earlier than everyone else in his class. It's pretty obvious, honestly.
The worst part is that I was talking to a coach. He's coaching pro leagues in Europe, but he was coaching in Ireland at the time. He was Irish, and this was before he went off. He actually thought that I was going to be one of the ones that made it. He didn't realize that my parents were I was already taller than my dad, and my mom was 5'3". And because I could shoot at that age, I was one of the better shooters. I could handle it a little bit, but when everyone started growing to my height, I became one of the worst ball handling 6'1" players and just a decent shooter at my height. So it was yeah, I just went from very good to a stand in the corner and shoot threes guy in about 2 years.
Yeah. Ty, did you get like any college offers or anything like that? I'm sure you got like at least like some like D3 JUCO stuff, right? Like
yeah, D3 NAIA for basketball mainly, and then D2 for football. I got a couple like D2 looks, never got an offer, but thankfully, honestly, with where I'm at right now. But if I liked basketball more than football anyway, so if I did do it, it's probably the route I would have taken. But I mean, it just came down to it. Like, obviously, college athletes are super busy. Plus, you're gonna, pay the same amount basically. So it's like, is it worth it to, continue playing something, the sport you love? I don't.
Yeah, no, I feel it. Like when I went to school for 1 year for track and D2, and like I just hated my life. You just gotta like it's like it consumes you more than anything. It's such a commitment. It's not like high school sports. It's entirely different. You just nonstop year round, 2-a-days type practices and go to class. Like you just gotta love it. You just gotta love it because you're not gonna get like a normal college experience doing it.
Yeah, like college is completely different over here. Like our college basketball, our national championship for college basketball is normally won by whichever good team either stays sober or whichever good team is really good playing basketball drunk. Like we've had like it's a weekend tournament, so like they play like groups on a Friday, semis on a Saturday, finals on a Sunday. But everyone drinks every night, so like people are drunk to the final. Like teams are, and if one team is drunk and your team's sober, obviously the sober team's winning. Like we won a national championship when we won like the second tier one, which is the real one because we didn't have any pros, and every other team had like 3 or 4 Americans to play D1. Like in the semi-final, I was guarding the starting center for Louisiana Lafayette when they made the Sweet 16 the year before, and I'm 6'1". He was 6'11". But we made the final, and I think I was like 8th or 9th man, and I think I played more minutes than I should have because I was more sober than everybody else. Like no other reason.
That's funny.
But like even the States is mad. Like when I was looking to go to a prep school, just like inquiring about it, seeing what way the money was going to work, and I was just emailing coaches and stuff. And like schools just wanted me to play American football. They didn't want me to do anything else. They were like, "Oh yeah, you won't be playing. You'll be just playing like third team basketball, just so you have to play a sport during that like section of the year." And they were like, "Oh yeah, we're just going to have you doing football training every day." I was like, "Yeah, I'm just going to stay in Ireland."
Man, that would have been so sweet watching Ty throw a nice little slant route to DBG at tight end. He'd assemble the MyTEAM football squad now.
Imagine that.
They were 1,000,000% fattening me up. Like they were 1,000,000%. Like I can't afford to put on any more weight than I have right now. Like just imagine what my face would look like with an extra 30-40 pounds onto it. Like I would not have enjoyed that experience.
It's easy to do with those college cafeterias, man. Those college cafeterias are fire.
They're crazy.
Like it was the exact same college here with shot put. Like I got in. Well, I didn't get in. Like I had a scholarship for shot put at track and field, and I turned it down because the coach literally went to me and was like, "Well, you're going to be putting on so much weight that you're not going to be able to do any other sports. Like you're not going to be able to play basketball anymore." So I was like, "Okay," and just walked out.
Yeah,
I don't know,
walked out and played basketball for college team instead.
Build, Could add a bit of a Zion.
Zion, who knows?
Man, that's wild. That's so crazy just to think. Like, honestly, it's wild that the Zion stuff doesn't get more attention by the media, considering he's a 21-year-old who averaged 27 points per game last year on like 65% field goal percentage. And at 21 years old, he's pretty much unable to play now because he's putting on so much weight. Like, that is a crazy timeline. Like,
see the fake Bleacher Report post, and it was like Zion Williamson brackets Thanksgiving out for another 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Like he's never gonna be okay. Like he's too heavy.
Hopefully for his sake he figures out. Just because it's like his athletic ability is so rare, and it's like I for my selfishness, I want him to eventually figure it out so we can see what he can be like, and we've seen his glimpses, but and imagine if he could even lose a few pounds. Jeez.
I don't like I'm looking at his build, and I said it in 2019. I'm like, I don't understand. I don't see how this guy doesn't pick up a couple of injuries. And like, as someone who puts on, like, you saw the way I was at 14, like obviously nowhere even on the scale of Zion build. Like, I'm someone who puts on muscle very quick and weight very quickly as well. Zion probably puts on muscle 10 times faster than that. Like, there is no way someone can put up on that amount of muscle without eating a serious amount of food. And then if you're injured at all, just like you're going to be either piling on the weight or losing a lot of muscle. So like it's Sean Kemp all over again. Obviously he's probably better than Sean Kemp at his peak, or as good, but it's just Sean. It's exactly what happened to Kemp. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Zion's too unathletic to play basketball in 3 years.
Did you guys hear the story about, I think it was Caleb Swanigan, or was that who it was? The guy from the Blazers?
Yeah.
Man, that's wild seeing him. Like, it's like a year or two removed from he was in the NBA. And, like, I don't really know a nice way to put it, but, like, he just doesn't look anything like an NBA player at all now. Like, the dude looks like he's been, I don't even know.
You just feel bad for guys like that, you know?
Yeah.
Just they're naturally big. They naturally have that kind of build, and it's just sad.
He you can kind of see. I think he bailed out of the bubble for like personal reasons, and you could kind of see why. The personal reasons where he probably piled on too much weight at that stage.
Yeah.
Like he it wasn't
quick.
even a year. That was the scary part. Like, he played in 2020. Like in 2020, he was an NBA player.
Yeah. And it's been a while since those pictures surfaced too. Like, It wasn't yesterday, it was a couple months ago at least now.
Like, people saying about Tractor Trailer, like, Tractor Trailer was fat coming into the league. Like, he was very heavy coming into the league. Have you seen the kid who's what's the kid's name? He was on the USA under 19s team. Really heavy kid. Oh, what's his name?
Like, that's the sort of
He's
tidbit
balling
in
in college basketball. He is balling. Kenneth Lofton Jr.
Kenneth Lofton Jr.
Like, just look at the guy. He is balling out in college. This kid is class.
Yeah, I've seen this dude.
This guy is really good. And he's actually not out of shape. He just looks heavy.
He plays Louisiana.
Like, obviously he could afford to lose a bit of weight, but like, he can move.
The size of his arms.
He can move.
His arms are just huge.
This guy actually can move. But he looks heavier every time I see him, which is the scary part. Like,
this man's gonna bring
he's so good.
This man's gonna bring the.
He's averaging 20 and 12.
Yeah, he's so good. His touch is good. His feet are quick. He moves well. He rebounds well. He just looks like he shouldn't be a basketball player. And
That's crazy.
I'm looking at pictures of him from like 2 years ago. He's putting on weight, which is the scary thing.
Jeez.
Y'all think mashing's bad in the game? Wait till this dude gets in the league. He's gonna take the mashing to a new level, man.
They're gonna have to make a player build just for this guy.
That's half back down Punisher right there.
That is crazy.
But like, I watched him play in the I watched a lot of that FIBA under 19s tournament because Wembanyama was playing for France. He's good. He's really good. Have any of you seen actually Wembanyama?
Is he the really wanky guy?
Yeah, he's like, you know your man Chet?
Holmgren.
What's his name? Chet?
Holmgren, yeah.
He's him, but way better. He's like a 7'2" Chet, but better. And he's a year younger. Like, he'll be the number one pick in 2023, even if he gets hurt today and is injured for next year, when Wembanyama will still be the number one pick.
What about Imani Bates?
No, Wembanyama's so much better than Imani Bates. Like, it's not even a debate. Let me see.
When you Google Wembanyama, why is there a highlight video of him dropping 5 points and 3 rebounds? Like, that's an impressive stat line.
Because he's doing it in the top league in France and he's like 17. It is unbelievably impressive.
5 points and 3 boards.
Yeah.
It's like so average.
Yeah. You don't, it's the competition. Imagine a 17 years old doing that in the NBA.
I mean,
like, that would be
I give Luka at 17 a good shot to do more than that.
Yeah, but like, Luka's an exception. Luka might be the best 17-year-old there's ever been.
No, Darko Milicic existed. You think we drafted him over Melo for nothing? Kidding me?
Have you heard, like, I'm just going to say this right now, that every single person that ever saw Darko Milicic before the draft, whether they were American or European, said the Pistons made the right call. It was just he hated basketball. Like, you can't predict if a player is going to hate the sport. He wasn't a bad basketball player. He just got into the NBA, played under Larry Brown, which doesn't help any rookie, and hated basketball.
Yeah, I mean, like, I heard like Chauncey and Rip talking about it like years later after they retired, and he said like they knew he wasn't gonna be good or like a part of the future just weeks in, because he was like showing up to practice drunk, like didn't care a bit, like didn't want to like work on anything. Like, it was just like he didn't care.
Like there are former NBA players were vouching for him. Like, the way that people were talking about Luka back then, there were former NBA players being like, "This is the best 19-year-old there's ever been." Like, there were people that, like, Americans, former NBA players that were playing against the dude in Europe that were saying he should have been taken over LeBron James. He just didn't like basketball.
Yeah,
and
I just get so tired of hearing, imagine if the Pistons drafted Carmelo. Imagine if the Pistons would have drafted Wade. Like, yeah, imagine. We would have never traded for Rasheed Wallace. He would have played for Larry Brown and not got minutes. We probably wouldn't have won a single championship. Like, it just wouldn't have fit. Like, It's great to say, yeah, just throw talent at a team. But, like, our team was, like, pretty old at that point. Like, Chauncey was pushing, he was 27, 28. Like, he just didn't fit in the timeline. Like, it was a blessing in disguise we drafted Darko, because for that reason, we went and traded for Rasheed and went straight into, like, win now mode. Like, it would have been a disaster if we would have, like, took the brakes off and gave Melo time to develop, and then all of a sudden Rip gets old, Ben leaves the team. Like, it wouldn't have worked.
I'm trying to think. The probable quote-unquote right choice was probably Chris Bosh. Actually, not maybe Chris Bosh. I'm trying to think, was there any rookie that you could have drafted that would have won you that ring instead of Rasheed Wallace?
I think like maybe like Chris Kaman would have fit in good. You know, he went to school here in Michigan. You know, we needed a nice little backup center. Like, I just think like West was more with that pick, honestly.
David West, maybe?
Yeah, maybe a little Kirk Heinrich, TJ Ford action in there, you know. Nah, we had Lindsey Hunter as a backup point guard. We were all set. We should have just gave the pick away for a giveaway or something. Sub giveaway for the second overall pick. I don't know.
Yeah, like that was mad. That was kind of mad. But it's crazy because some of these guys, like, obviously a lot of them don't, like, a lot of like the best, what people don't understand is a lot of like the best 17-year-olds of all time don't necessarily make it in the NBA. Like, the amount of these 14-year-old superstars that don't make it is scary. Like, for every Andrew Wiggins, there's an Akil Carr. For every John Wall, there is a Seventh Woods. Like, for every one of these, like, mixtape legends that people are looking at from the time they're 14, there's 15 of them that never make it.
People tried to convince us that Julian Newman was better than LaMelo Ball. Like, I don't know,
I'm just saying
man.
this right. I'm just saying this right now. In 2018, during all that JBA stuff, LaMelo Ball, his career was going in one of two directions. Like, his career was going so badly, and then he got pulled back in. And thank God he did, because he's one of the most fun players to watch. But like late 2018, before he went to Spire, if you watched him play in Lithuania, he was bad. If you watched him play in the JBA, he was bad. And like, the coaches were literally saying in Lithuania, the kid was uncoachable. And then obviously someone must have said something, whether it be to him or LeVar, but he went to Spire and all of a sudden was actually coachable, actually listened to his coaches, worked on his game, and became one of the best players.
Honestly, I think it's just a part of growing up. Like, it's honestly just a part of growing up, I think. Like, I was kind of a hothead when I was like 15, 16 too, you know? Like,
yeah, but I mean, with the whole social media era, it's so easy to go the opposite direction. He could have easily become Julian Newman.
Especially if your dad's LeVar.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about LeVar?
His methods are crazy, but I mean, it's worked. You can't question. I'm just gonna say, if his kids were not all 6'6", 6'7", like freak athletes, then he would just be Julian Newman's dad. Like, same methods. LeVar Ball's kids just have talent. They're not 5'5".
Yeah.
Julian Newman. The Newmans are making money, I guess. Like, they're making a good living out of being a laughingstock.
I mean, maybe I should pick up a basketball and see if I can learn to dribble it faster, because I really don't know what he does other than that.
He doesn't do anything. I'm just gonna say is, if Julian Newman, if you're watching this, thank you. I made so much money talking about how you were not very good at the game of basketball on my B-Ball Daily channel. I made so much money making videos explaining why you were not very good. But this was back when people were actually hyping up Julian Newman to be an NBA player. It was great.
Yeah, those videos were hitting back in the day. I feel like my recommendation in my sub box was just him and LaMelo every day.
But it's like the one thing with LeVar is like you can tell he did everything for the right reasons. LeVar has made so many bad decisions, but he did them for the right reasons, and it all worked out in the end. So that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Like those shoes.
Oh, the
shoes,
ZO2s, the ZO2s, $500.
Yeah, putting a target on Lonzo. Like no matter what anyone says, that did not help Lonzo. Like Lonzo, it took 2 years of Lonzo's career. He was a shell of a player, and then eventually he became what people expected Lonzo straight away. Like putting a target on his back when he was 18 didn't help anyone. Didn't help him.
Those Bulls look good this year.
Yeah, Lonzo's so good. Like this is the Lonzo that people actually thought that they were going to be getting when they were drafted. Now the pressure is not completely on him.
Some people are saying
Bulls team have an
good.
exciting future, man, because they're all pretty young, except for like DeMar and like one other player.
Yeah, the Cavs. I like the Cavs mainly because I have like a somewhat weird connection to Larry Markkinen, but
it's just such an oddball team. Like, what is the average height for that team right now?
I mean, the Cavs are a team you never thought preseason would be what they are. I mean, they're good.
They're just going out with 3 7-footers.
Yeah,
anti-small ball. Yeah,
have they been using Taco at all?
No.
Yeah, but they've just literally just said F small ball. We're playing Larry Markkinen a small forward. Oh, we drafted Evan Mobley, the best center. Let's play him on the wing.
Yeah. I haven't watched many Cavs games. It's just surprising because normally they play the Pistons a lot. They just haven't came up on the schedule, but I'm excited to see because I haven't really watched them, honestly.
Me neither.
I like the way the NBA is going. I don't know who do you think the player will be to actually take the mantle off LeBron? Like, I don't think it'll be Luka.
Cade. No questions asked.
Please stop.
It'll be Cade.
No, it might be LaMelo.
Do you think it'll be LaMelo?
That's my prediction if I have one.
What does LaMelo do better than Cade?
Oh my God.
LaMelo is one of the few people with the actual passing gift.
Cade's got that. Throwing steamers.
Hold on. Since we're on this subject, Jacob, let's look at something here. Okay. First of all, Cade Cunningham is shooting 28% from the 3-point line. His effective field goal percentage is 44%, which you could go out there for the Detroit Pistons and shoot. He's averaging 4.6 assists and 3.7 turnovers, which is very mediocre, about 1.2 to 1, which is a very mediocre statistical stat line. He is very mediocre.
All right, so what I'm going to say is if you take those 2 first games out of the equation, he shouldn't have been playing anyways. He was still hurt. It's looking a little better, and he'd be averaging 17 assists a game if somebody on the Pistons could shoot the ball. Like, it's not as bad as it seems, you know.
Like we're not out here saying Cade's a bust, but you just said Cade's gonna be the player that takes over the mantle from LeBron James.
You said, what does LaMelo do better than Cade?
Give it a couple of years, fellas. Give it a couple of years. You'll see.
You'll see. Isn't it scary? Like I'm just gonna put this out there right now. Like I personally believe LeBron's the GOAT. It all like the one thing I will always say with the LeBron and MJ debate, you will never change anyone's minds because an MJ fan will argue one set of things, and then a LeBron fan will argue another set of things. And the person who says LeBron will value one set of things over another set of things. Like MJ fans are like, oh, he went 6-0 in the finals, whereas LeBron fans are like, well, LeBron made the finals more times. So like it all just depends on what you value. So that argument, it's debating a wall, MJ versus LeBron. But I'm just putting it out there, LeBron is not the best player in the world anymore.
No, he hasn't been in a minute.
And don't even say Katie. Don't even start to say Katie's. But
the best. All I'm gonna say is the best ability is availability, and I'm like Giannis.
It's Steph. Do you guys watch you guys watched any?
Actually, you know what? Jacob, I'm gonna stick with you, Steph, because of his gravity. There is no player in the world that makes a team better than having Steph Curry right now. Steph Curry makes
agree.
everyone better just because he's Steph. Just because he's on the floor, he makes every single player better because he gets everyone more open. He gives everyone more space just from being there.
Yeah.
So yes, I will agree with you, Jacob. Steph.
Even if he's having a bad night, other people on his team will benefit from the fact that he's playing. I mean, it's Steph. Then after that, I think it's Giannis, but then KD.
KD is
KD and Giannis. I'd say KD and Giannis are 2A, 2B to me. KD and Giannis are 2A, 2B to me right now.
If you judge basketball by who's the best, who can take over a game, if that's all you judge basketball on, Kevin Durant's the best player in the world. As well, like he takes over a game better than anyone. Like,
in my opinion, he doesn't do enough outside of scoring the ball to even be in the conversation. That's my personal opinion.
I mean, now I'm not going to disagree, but like KD in Golden State was a serious defender. I mean his peak was in Golden State.
Shown it, but it's just like
they
were so. Can we just say Kevin Durant they were unfair. They had KD playing freaking defense. Draymond, Steph, Clay. I'm gonna say they were unfair.
Now, that team might be the best team the NBA will ever see.
We will never. I don't think we'll ever. And it's not only the players. They all bought into the fucking system. They all moved without the ball. They all passed. They all played defense. They all played on a string. They knew what everyone wanted. They might be the best team we'll ever see in our lifetime.
Now, granted, it wasn't a deep team, but that team was so good.
It wasn't deep on paper, but they could all play. You bring Sean Livingston off the bench, and suddenly he takes over a finals game. You bring guys like, these guys are scrubs anywhere else. They had David West for a year. And that was a scary thing where it was like, they took Barbosa from nowhere and made him look like a great NBA player.
Yeah.
Oh, they were.
Hey, but yet, let's bring up LeBron's finals record in our MJ and Brown debate. Let's do it. It's not an account for who he's playing, but that's besides the point.
No, like, Michael Jordan had the best team. If you take Michael Jordan and the best player of every team he played in the finals, so you take Michael Jordan off the Bulls and the best player of every other team, the Bulls win every one of those finals. You take LeBron and the best player from the opposite team, LeBron's team loses every one of those finals.
Valid point.
So it's like, you can't argue, like, LeBron, you could argue LeBron made more of an impact in all of those. But it's like, Jordan didn't make as many finals because Jordan had tougher, like, the Eastern Conference was tougher than whoever was in the Western Conference, whereas LeBron was the opposite. LeBron made more finals because he was in a weaker Eastern Conference for a lot of his time. But then the West was just stacked.
Yeah. I mean, I think when it comes down to like MJ versus LeBron, I think we just have to give it like 2 more years and then look at it in hindsight. Like, once he's out of the league, I think it'll be easier to kind of put it all together.
I don't think it will be, because I'm guessing your team Jordan, Ty, are you? Considering you said that.
My team Jordan? No, I'm team Bron.
Your team Braun. Jesus.
If I had to choose between those two,
your team Wilt though. Your team Wilt though, aren't you?
I was about to say, I thought Ty was team Wilt.
Yeah, for the GOAT, it's Wilt. But
I'm gonna say okay, because what you like, if you value the fact that Wilt was the biggest statistical anomaly in the history of the sport, and you value the fact that there has been no player that's been as much better than the second best player in the history of the sport than Wilt Chamberlain, then you have a point. Like, there are a lot of arguments for Wilt. There are a lot of arguments for Kareem.
Yeah, there's a good argument for Kareem. Goats don't dance, man. Who
do you think the worst player that you could actually argue is the GOAT is?
Oof.
I think Cade, because I'll sit here and try. Not saying that it'll make sense, but I'll try.
It has to make sense. It has to make sense. It has to make sense. You can't just be talking nothing like, oh, J.R. Smith did this at the park. No, someone that you could actually argue. I've got two. I've got two that you could argue.
I got one. And it's, everybody knows who mine is. You go first.
Mine are Stephen Curry, Arvydas Sabonis.
You don't think there's an argument for them?
I think you can make an argument for them. I think they're the worst players.
You definitely make an argument for Steph. I don't know. The thing with Sabonis is he wasn't like. Technically, the NBA was his worst years. Really.
Yeah. Like, he was so crippled that he could apply for. He was technically disabled. Yeah.
If I'm being honest,
you've got guys like. you've got guys like Detlef Schrempf who lost to Jordan in like the NBA finals, saying that Sabonis was better than Jordan. Like people that have lost to Jordan in the finals say that. So I think you can make the argument. I think it's a ridiculous argument to make, but I think it can be argued by a sane person.
I can't say I've seen enough of Sabonis to even.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Someone Ren's chat saying Iverson. That's a fair one because I hear people say like he's the best pound for pound. I hear that
doesn't
sometimes.
count. Best pound for pound doesn't count. Actual bet. Like yeah. I mean, you could argue Isaiah Thomas because he was 3 inches shorter than Iverson.
I do like the Steph though. I just think what he has done when he's healthy for the game is just ridiculous. And I mean, you look at the Warriors team right now. Their record, it doesn't align. You take Steph off that team and put KD on that team, maybe 500.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Like Steph just
crazy. If you put Steph on Brooklyn, they're better too. I mean,
Steph just being there. Like that's the thing with Steph is like Steph just being on the floor. Like there is no like people thought Andrew Wiggins' career was done. Jordan Poole, like no way Jordan Poole's doing this in any other team. Like you look at this team on paper.
I think Jordan Poole could do it on other teams. He's like the one player on the Warriors who is creating his own shot a lot of times. Like
I know, but like the extra spacing does help. But I mean, like Gary Payton II was a G League player. They've got Bielitsa, who's just a spot up shooter. Damian Lee, like where was he? Like they've got so many G League players like that play. Like Kuminga's not even playing much. Moses Moody's not playing much. Imagine a year or two when those guys get good, how scary they're going to be.
My question for you guys is if this year Steph wins the MVP and then goes and wins the championship as well, where does he rank all time?
Guard 1.
Top 5.
I don't know. That's a really tough question.
I said it'd be 3 or 4, and I got flamed. I got absolutely lit up for saying that.
I have Steph over Kobe right now, so I'm gonna say no question top 5.
Oh, you are gonna get a lot of shit for saying that.
I've said it on stream so many times. I have Steph over Kobe right now. I had Steph over Kobe before Kobe passed, so I'm not changing my mind.
Fair.
No. I do. I've liked Steph before, and I think if there's one team I'm picking to win everything, it's the Warriors right now.
I think with the way they're playing,
I just think if he gets another MVP and another finals, his resume.
There's a question for you, Zol.
Fine. I think he'll shoot. He'll shoot. His defense won't be as good.
Gonna be fine. That's what I said. I had this talk with a friend recently. I think his lateral movement's probably gonna suffer, but like. In terms of being knocked down, I don't think he's going to lose that part of his game. I don't know if he'd be able to still guard the best ball handler on the opposing team, but
he doesn't need to. The Warriors system you can get away with not having good defenders with that system.
Mm.
They're all on a string. They know exactly where they have to be. All he has to do is, as long as his brain wasn't affected and he can shoot, I think he'll be fine.
Spending too much time out on that boat might have messed with him, you know.
Yeah, Clay's such a chill guy, man. Like, it's sad how long it's been since we've seen Clay play. He's just such a cool guy. Like,
gonna be back in the next week or two, right?
The funniest thing what I always say with Steph is people always say like, "Oh, Steph Curry, Magic Johnson, 1A, 1B point guards." But if you say I believe Magic Johnson's the second greatest player of all time, no one will bat an eye. But if you say, I believe Steph Curry is the greatest player of all time, people say you're crazy. The same people that would agree with Magic and Steph being 1A, 1B. Like, I don't get it. Like, they are 1A and 1B. Like, they're both top 10 players, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. And I think a lot of people that are like that are old heads. It's the same way with MJ. And even with Kobe, like, I can't argue with people who saw Kobe during his prime and are Kobe fans that Kobe's not, what people think he was, but...
Kobe's going to be remembered. Obviously, like, I'm looking at Kobe, obviously, the situation before he passed, because there's no point clouding judgment on that, which a lot of people have. But Kobe Bryant was a player that was so good. He was able to create. He had all these moves. everything Kobe did would be considered so inefficient in today's game that I think a lot of young players are going to look at Kobe and be like, he was overrated, he wasn't anything. Just like they kind of looked at, just like I think they're going to look at Dwayne Wade. I think Dwayne Wade is going to, in 10 years' time, people are going to be saying Dwayne Wade is not a top 10 two guard ever. It's just like, say, in a different way, like a John Stockton from the 90s. Because his quote-unquote stats don't,
Right.
they weren't great. So people are saying John Stockton's not a top 5 point guard ever. Whereas when John Stockton retired, he was seen as the number 2 behind Magic Johnson, ahead of Oscar Robertson, ahead of Isaiah Thomas even. Sorry, Jacob. He was just in general seen as, if not even. But now, if you say John Stockton's ahead of Isaiah Thomas, people call you crazy because they look back in hindsight and be like, oh, John Stockton's stats did this, he didn't do any of these things. I think that's going to happen. If Kobe didn't pass, I think it would have happened with Kobe, and it's going to happen with Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade, in 10 years' time, people are going to be talking about him like he was a bum.
Well, the thing with Kobe is, like, there was just something special about watching him play at certain times. I can't explain it. It's an eye test type of thing. Like, you can look at the box score, maybe it didn't look great, but just the way that he scored the ball was just different. Like, it was just special watching him, like, operate. Like, especially during that time, like, after Shaq had left, between, like, 2005 and 2009. Like, it was just, like, it's so cliche, but, like, he was just moving different. Like,
so
it's
like,
just like,
he was so good. And like, when he stopped shot chucking in like 2008 to 2010 was huge as well. Like, people don't even realize that Kobe shot the ball less. Like, in that game 7 of the NBA Finals, he deferred to Ron Artest. He deferred to Pau. Like, you could argue Pau maybe Finals MVP in 2010, but like, he was playing defense. There was just something about Kobe. Even though statistically we look back and he was one of the least clutch players of all time, you were still scared. Like, I loved the Celtics back then.
Right.
You were still scared every time Kobe touched the ball.
I think the thing with Kobe's stats and his efficiency and stuff, it's like, if he shot 40%, if another player was taking those shots, they would have shot 0%. You know what I mean? It's because, like, the difficulty of shots.
I think a good way to kind of value how good a player is let's say the Timberwolves play the Phoenix Suns, right? Who's better between Chris Paul and Devin Booker? Well, who am I scared of more? Who do I think is going to make a bigger impact on the game? My brother Nate kind of brought that into the equation when we were playing the Lakers, and he said, Russell Westbrook doesn't scare me at all. Like, I'm glad we're playing against Russell Westbrook, you know? And so that's, like, I think is a good way to compare players. Like, when obviously it's matchup dependent, but when the Timberwolves play Steph Curry or Giannis Antetokounmpo, they have a much bigger impact on the game than when we played the Brooklyn Nets and Kevin Durant. Yeah. That's like, kind of just how I value things as well.
It's tough when players are like the complete opposite. Because, like, obviously when you say Chris Paul and Devin Booker, like, who are you more scared of? Devin Booker. Chris Paul probably impacts the team more with a lot of the other stuff he does. And you can even see it in the chat right now. There are people on the Curry over Kobe. There are people on the Kobe over Curry. And because they're so opposite players, no matter what side of the fence you are on, you're going to have an argument. And that's why my whole LeBron versus Jordan thing is, like, no matter what side of the fence you're on, you're always going to have a different point to make for the argument. And you've obviously got Wilt. So Wilt brings something else to the table. Kareem, for his longevity, certain things he brings to the table. I think Steph might end up in 5 years' time in that conversation as well, if he does well. But, like, it is just kind of crazy. Like, the arguments that are hard to make, in my opinion, are Kobe over Jordan or Magic over LeBron. Because I just think LeBron's the better version of Magic and Jordan was just the better version of Kobe.
Yeah, that's fair.
Even though MJ himself says Kobe just took everything MJ did, but did it better.
Yeah, that's moves wise. Like, Jordan, like, even statistically speaking, Jordan was
I know.
He was an efficient player in the 90s. Do you know how few of them there were?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was only born in the early 90s, and I definitely didn't have a fondness for basketball back then, so I just have highlights to go off in that regard.
When did you get into basketball, Dale, actually?
I started watching it, I think, 2009. I started religiously watching it, though, like 2013, 2014. It was like one of those things I watched. Because, like, you know yourself, trying to watch basketball here is horrible. Like, the times are so wacky, and you have to, like, ruin your sleep schedule, which you can't really do when you're in school and working and all that, so...
Yeah. That was
the most I ever watched basketball was when I moved to Canada, because all the games were on at reasonable hours.
Yeah.
like that was around the time, which is like you guys don't like you two in the States where you don't realize it. That was around the time when people were able to like live stream stuff on their computer, and we all found ways of watching the games. I'm not going to say what the ways were, but we all found ways of watching every single NBA game. So like before that, there were none of us ever watched the NBA. Like the only thing I learned from the NBA, I used to like go to the library and get every basketball book, read every single one of them, get like Slam magazine and read it back to front. Like that's the closest thing we got to the NBA till about 2011 in Ireland. Like it was nuts how little there was here.
I wouldn't watch
Like,
that
I
much
assume-
basketball if the games were on at 2 a.m. myself. I could say that.
Yeah. Yeah, like I just grew up watching, like idolizing all the players that play like in the Irish League. And it's funny that I played with so many of the people that I like grew up idolizing, which was nuts.
That's cool.
Did you ever play
But,
against
like-
who's the best player you played against in Iowa? Like, was there anyone that was like super super tough that like I would know played against over there?
Iowa. I'm trying to think. Well, I played against Tyrese Halliburton in AAU. He's probably the best player I've ever played against. But trying to think, Iowa, my senior year would have been best player would be Joe Wieskamp, who's for the Spurs now or the G League team. Played against him. Probably about it. Those are probably the top two.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah. Who is anybody notable for you when you were in high school?
Not really. I was like one game away from regional finals from having to play against Monty Morris, but ducked that thankfully for the Nuggets. Other than that, not really. I played like a lot of the guys who I played against, like in my division and stuff in high school, like were really tough at basketball, but more tough at football. So like a lot of them ended up like being on like training camp rosters for the Eagles and like stuff like that. Because like you know how it is too. I'm sure it's the same in Iowa. Like of course, like you're like multiple sports. You know, like if you're like a NFL type prospect and you're like also playing basketball, you're probably gonna be pretty good at basketball. You know,
right?
That's kind of just like how it was when I was in high school.
Have you ever played pickup with someone like that, where they're not in a structure?
Well, I played pickup against like wrestlers and it's crazy.
No, but I mean like pick up against someone like an NBA level player. They are just when they are not like when they don't have like they're not chained down to be like, oh, this is what you're meant to do in a structure. Okay, maybe AAU was a little bit like pickup, but like Jesus, like there's guys. I remember watching this guy Sean Van Zandt. He was a starting point guard for Butler when they lost to Kemba Walker's UConn team. And I remember watching him. He was playing like a league ahead of me in Ireland. I remember watching him. I was like, oh, he wasn't like he was okay. Like he averaged like 20 a game, but I mean, like I didn't think he was like anything spectacular. And I can't remember. I played pickup with him for a bit, and he literally every time he touched the ball and wanted to, he could score. And he just didn't because the team's offense didn't need him to drive the basket every time. Like,
yeah, I played pickup with a G Leaguer, but he was just a 7-footer, so it's not like he was like it's not like he had a bag, you know. He was just a 7-foot tall G Leaguer, like.
Yeah. Do you know there's like a 27% chance or something that you make the NBA?
I thought it was 17, but yeah, it's dumb high. I'm sure like the other
crazy.
Is it down to 17? It probably gets lower as the years go on because there's more and more 7-footers.
Yeah, I mean, what else are you gonna do if you're that tall? Like play volleyball, I guess, but it's not like any other sports are really cut out for 7-footers, really.
I mean, I would assume that a high percentage would be like your man Rob Bobrovsky that just couldn't walk.
Yeah.
Do you guys know who he is?
He was the guy that played with Lamelo, right?
Yeah, he never played. He just he spent 4 years in Spire and they tried to get him big enough to play basketball and he just was never big enough to play basketball.
Yeah.
It's crazy like how some 7-footers look and then you got guys like Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
You know, just filled out and
yeah. Do you know what's scary? Ben Simmons is legit 7 foot.
Is he as tall as Embiid?
I've seen him stand beside Embiid in person. I've stood beside both of them. I've stood beside Giannis. They're all roughly the same height. Like Ben Simmons is a legit 7. Like, if they measured NBA players like they were back in the day, he would be 7'1". Like,
I hope Ronnie watches this, so next time at the end of the year, we get a glitch Ben Simmons at 7'1".
7 feet. Do you know? Actually, you've seen Ronnie. Ronnie's tall.
I saw him. Yeah, he played in that Celebrity All-Star game or something, and I saw
And
him
you
in
know,
person. But
I was gonna say, it's like he gave you the trophy. Like he's
Yeah.
like, I didn't think he was like a legit 6'7".
he's Ronnie's tall.
Yeah. If only he could make a layup. He would have been very good in a celebrity game if he could just score a layup.
I saw that jump shot. I was like, yikes.
Oh,
That
he
is-
is.
That was rough.
I love the character of Ronnie 2K. Again, I don't know the person, but I love the fact that he plays the WWE heel persona so well. Like he just knows how to piss people off.
I
He
mean,
does it without even trying. He could say one word and he'll piss someone off.
it's been like how many years now too, which is the craziest part. Like it's never really gotten stale. Like I remember people blaming Ronnie for 2K problems like what 7 years ago now. Like
Yeah.
He will always be blamed.
But it's such a difference where it's like LD is like the nicest person ever. And like back when they were the two community managers, no one ever blamed LD for anything. Because he was just too nice. Even though neither of them had anything to do with anything, it was all just blaming Ronnie.
good cop, bad cop.
Yeah. Again, I have no idea. I have no idea about Ronnie outside of that. Like I've barely spoke to the guy, but I mean, I have an appreciation for the heel work, the great heel work he does as part of 2K, and he is worth whatever the hell they're paying him just to be the blame. No one ever looks for who the devs are that are the actual problem. It's all just blame Ronnie. Just for that reason,
Right.
like he's worth any amount of money.
It's kind of crazy they don't because we know who they are now, especially. You know?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, but like Ronnie still seems like a faceless entity. Like I don't like we know personally the devs, and even if we want to, no one ever. I hate nowadays making any of the rant videos. Like I know the devs, and I know they're not going to take it well.
Yeah.
I kind of have to at times.
Your rant video about the last cards that came out were kind of justified, though. I listened to that one, the maxed out one. Like, honestly, those packs were pretty bad, man. Those are pretty
Oh, they were
bad.
terrible.
I can't believe
Really
they
bad.
dropped that on a Friday, new season. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Usually when they come out with a new season, it's a fire drop with it. I don't know if I hate it that much because we did get there's like a lot of new stuff. So if there is I'd rather it be then than like, I don't know, when we actually need a good content drop, but it was bad.
yeah, it definitely was. Like, what DBG was saying, like, they should have, like, maxed out, like, all of JJ Redick's shooting stats instead of just 99 free throw, give him, like, 99 speed, 99 mid-range, 99 free throw. Instead of just giving, like, Tim Duncan 99 post moves, give him 99 post hook, 99 post control, whatever it is, like, just something like that, like. And I just am
Like,
shocked that they dropped those on a new season.
It wouldn't have made the cards better in game. So like us looking at that, we still would have said it was an ass promo. But that might have been interesting enough for people to have said maybe some of these will be okay. Instead of a 99 3-point Ray Allen, even though it would make no difference. Like his free throw going from like 97 to 99, his mid-range going from like 88 to 99. Like all of those stats going 99. Would it make a difference in game? No. But at least it looks a little more interesting if you just see a 5-6 stats in a row, all 99.
No doubt.
If you would have told me like that Tim Duncan and Ray Allen were gonna headline a Friday drop together, I would have been like, "You're lying." Like if they leaked that, I would have been like, "There's got to be something more."
It's fake, right?
Yeah, I know it was leaked. I didn't know who the cards were, but I heard from people that knew that it was going to be ass before it was released.
It's
like again, I try, like, people think I have like plugs. Like I actively try to not find out news because if I let something slip, I throw someone else under the bus. So it's like I don't hear anything directly from 2K because it's like back in the day, if I accidentally let something slip, I'm only throwing myself under the bus. But now it's like if I hear something from somebody, because obviously 2K don't like me, I'm throwing them. So I'm like literally, people are like, "Oh, do you want to know what this is?" No, do not tell me. Like, you can tell me if it's good or bad. Do not tell me what the cards are because if I accidentally say something, you are screwed. Don't do it.
Yeah,
Right.
like I remember seeing like the people that give away the cards like tweet out on like Thursday. Like we didn't get any leaks yet. Like they were tweeting out, they were like, "Gonna do a card giveaway this weekend. This one's pretty cool." Like if you're just saying it's pretty cool and not insane or crazy, like this is probably gonna be bad.
Right.
They all know, and Like, I assume you're in the same boat, Ty. Like, you're given quite a bit of information that you probably would rather not have, or it makes no odds. Like that's one of the things. Like, people are like always like, oh, surely you'd want early information. It's like, no, I don't. It's like I could accidentally say something.
Every time, like especially though, a couple weeks ago, I knew, but it's like I'm gonna try not to say anything. But then I kind of know who I can sell sometimes, or who I need to keep for 250. But no, I don't want to accidentally say anything. And I remember, like, I must have said something. I don't know. It's the weekend of the Giannis drop because somebody told me something. I maybe like we were thinking Giannis anyway, and I maybe mentioned.
No, we knew Giannis was guaranteed. Giannis was guaranteed.
It was like you threw like I don't know, but yeah, you just don't want any for us.
Yeah, like I knew it was coming on Wednesday. I knew it was coming on Wednesday, and like I literally didn't stream. I was like, okay, I can almost guarantee if I stream, I will let it slip the packs are coming out Wednesday.
Right.
Like we all knew it was Giannis. I didn't even have to be told it was Giannis because they didn't give Giannis a moments card. But it was like, no, just whatever. You just don't do it anyway. The people that leak this stuff are the ones that'll screw themselves over at the end of the day. Like, you got to know what information you can say and what information you can't say. But like, I try not to get any information because I know that even if I don't hint at it, 2K are still on my ass because they're watching everything I say, and I'm not even kidding. So I just need to be extra fucking careful with these type of things. But
hire a permanent position just to keep tabs on you.
I think they got one of those permanent positions already. Keep an eye on me because my account gets banned every time I try and do something.
Alright, well, I mean, it was justified.
I mean, it was Yuga. Like, that is
They
the
don't
most
mess around with that.
account ban. That is the most like. There is nothing that will get you banned quicker than promoting coins.
Man, I stopped for a month. I started for 2 days and they hit me back down within 48 hours. Like, jeez, man, the video has like 200 views. Like,
they're one of the 200, man.
I mean, they're on the money. Like, they are 100%. Like, they are cracking down on that more this year than any other year, and rightfully so. Where else are these people getting 8 million MT to bid on Giannis? 4 extra half badges.
Nuts this year.
Someone
made a good point in the chat though about the pack prices on this maxed out promo. You can't even get 2 boxes with 450 anymore.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That was not a smart decision.
I don't know what's going on with the pack price has been changing damn near every week this year.
Yeah, there's so many things where it's like clutch time. I will say this: clutch time's actually good. Like I didn't think I would like the 14-second shot clock, but I actually kind of do.
It's not that bad.
Clutch time is a good mode, man.
It's the best thing
How
they've
many shot
added.
clock violations do you cause, Ty? Instead of rough estimate.
A lot. And I even get some.
I would not like to go against your defense in that mode.
Just be forgetting, like I'll get the rebound, get up court, and then forget I only have like 10 more seconds left.
Yeah.
It's crazy though.
I mean, I think it's the best thing they've added in forever. Like, it's honestly like a great mode, especially if they keep their rewards updated. But that's the one thing I will say is they need to update their rewards because like everything in this game takes forever to grind except for clutch time. But that's right now the funnest mode for most people. Yeah. So like they need to like keep those rewards coming because like from their perspective, like they should keep people on the game through clutch time. Like
I just feel like even if they like updated like the wheel with just something a little bit better, like
a half badge.
They should just double all the MT. There should not be a 100 MT there. Double every one of the MTs, and I think everyone's kind of cool.
Honestly, what I think they should do is the second main prize, like, you know, they have Michael Red on one side for the main prize, and the other side is a diamond consumable. Make the other side a half badge. The odds are still going to be so low, it really won't matter. It'll be like, once every 200 spins or something like that, and people will just sweat that game mode forever.
Okay.
Jacob, I've gotten three diamond consumables, no red. And there's a 50-50 chance I can either of them.
Gotta do the method, DBG. No gotta do the method. Gonna have to go find one of those dub gaming videos, turn it on, let the wheel spin, come back and click X, and I'll show it right up for you.
He's dub gaming. That's not a name I've heard in a while. Insert Obi-Wan Kenobi meme. Dub gaming. Not heard it. It's been years since I've heard that name. That was the least creative name ever on YouTube. I'm from Dublin. Dub Gaming.
I play video games.
I play video games. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes
then changed it because
I just
everyone thought I
wonder.
was a Warriors fan, so I changed it.
I mean, everyone's first name is usually pretty cringy. Kind of like rite of passage to have a bad username right off rip.
I still got numbers in my Twitch username, so I can't say much.
Have you ever tried to, or have you even thought about changing yours? Or no?
I've tried just getting TYDEBO, but they don't let me have it for whatever reason. I don't know why.
I
At
just
least
think
your
it's wild that people actually put 2405 at the end of their usernames now. Like,
Yeah.
that's
I know.
crazy, Ty. Like, I love your streams too, man, but like, come on. Like,
At least none of you guys have a Twitch that was originally a burner account.
sub to DBG's crazy too.
That's crazy.
It's so
I-
like it's literally just a burner.
I remember when DBG first came into my stream ever, I was like, is this actually DBG? Like, I didn't know, because I don't know if you were partnered at that
I
point
wasn't.
or not.
I got
I don't
partnered.
think so.
I got
And
partnered
then,
2 days after you.
So I didn't think it was a real account, because who names themselves subs to DBG? And then it was.
I got banned in like so many people's chats. Like before I got partnered, I think I was
The
banned
unintentional self
banned in
promo.
so many chats. Like I think I would get banned in people's chats, and then they would just go unban him. That's actually DBG. I got banned in so many chats. It was
So that
like,
that username only makes sense to like probably most EU people.
yeah,
With
it
it
like
Will
it's
NE.
a sub. It's a sub.
I
It
don't
was
know if
around
he
the
was
time
that
of sub
big
to Will NE.
in America.
Who was it?
Yeah,
Will
like-
NE? Who was that?
Will NE,
Will
a fellow
NE.
square-headed individual. But yeah, Will NE. He did this whole thing spam. He used to spam sub to Will NE everywhere. He called the second channel sub to Will NE, and being the uncreative person that I am, just called myself on Twitch sub to DBG.
You guys pretty
That
much
actually-
ready to call it there?
Yeah, that's been 2.5 hours. Jesus, it's been a long
Yeah.
time.
I don't know, for a while.
We gotta ask Ty the question.
Oh yeah, Ty. You've already been asked this question, by the way. This is where we started. This is how we have to end every single one of these. Ty was the first time we talked about this on the last podcast.
Oh yeah,
So,
that's very true.
YouTube,
We'll run it
YouTube boxing event, hypothetical, sort of 2K community. Who, if there's a big 2K community boxing event, who would you choose to fight, and how would the fight end?
I know. I need just a second. I would
Like
want
just a social media thing, so it's not like there's any animosity. Someone that would that you would just like to just fight for fun.
I'd like to
And what would
see
how would it end?
Harlow fight Toady.
No, you have to fight
So
someone.
who would you fight?
Who would you
I
fight?
I want to Splash.
Flash. And how does that end?
He winning. Splash wingspan. Not like that.
Pick the 5'6" guy.
And
Let's go
wingspan not like
for
that.
How quickly? First round. Okay. So that in one full sentence. In one full sentence, so we have the clip.
Splash don't want me, man. Toady said LOL. Hey, sorry, Toady. I got the question.
Toady versus Carlo. Does Toady get to bring his PS5 with him? Because like we all saw the E-Date, like the PS5 was the real winner. Does Toady have the PS5 in the corner, in the background? Like I think that wins that fight. But yeah, as always, we end one of these streams with Henry the Blasian. If there's any sort of YouTube fight, I will fight you, and you will be on the canvas in the first round. Yeah, just like that is how we've ended every one of these podcasts.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
We good to end?